It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert. Okay, we have a very special guest today. We have released her from holding after 4 weeks in a hotel. We have Lauren Chamblin. You know her as LC from Love is Blind Season 1 and Perfect Match. LC, how are you doing today?
Woo, I'm out in the world. The sun is shining. It's great.
Amazing.
We were thinking as a bit of bringing you in like an hour and 20 minutes into the episode, like
just give me for the last like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, but you know that it just wouldn't have been good.
It seems to be the trend. I'm really,
Okay.
I'm a good finisher.
Yeah, you're our closer.
I'm a strong close.
Yeah, you're a good closer.
Well, I don't know about a strong close, but I am involved in the close.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
And for those of you new to the podcast, we are Max and Ben. We are the Big Rascals. Thank you for coming in at season 4. We've also covered all of the other seasons, so you should check that out. Season 1 is on our Patreon, patreon.com/reality alert. LC, how about that Patreon? Really good stuff, right? Big fan, right?
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are live right now on YouTube. If you're just listening on audio, you can always check us out. We go live Friday afternoons, and I think we're doing Saturday afternoons tentatively too, around 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. doing both episodes that come. Well, how are the episodes coming out? We're getting like 5 the first week, then 3 the second week, then 3 the third week.
There's 13 episodes.
Yeah,
13.
I was like,
yes.
Luckies? How cool.
So,
we only have 10.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what they're doing. They're doing 5 this first week, then 3 the second week, then 3 the third week, then 1 the fourth week, then 1 the fifth week.
That's wild.
Is the plan.
So maybe the last one is going to be like the reunion.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably,
And like the second to last week will be like maybe episodes
the finale.
Like 11 and 12 might be like the weddings, and then 13 might be like the reunion.
Hey, I'm all for it. Milk it, Netflix.
Yeah, milk it.
This is your golden goose, you know?
Okay, but I will say when I was looking, I only watched episode 1, but when I was looking at the other episodes, I was like, oh, there's more episodes. Like, how many of these are pod episodes? Because I want more pods.
Yes,
like,
that's what we say all the time too. Yeah,
so much that happens in there, and that's like the cool part. That's like the different part. That's the unique part from everything else. Like that's the whole. And also, I feel like if you don't see enough of that. Like on my season, I think you just completely didn't get the why of why anyone got together. Like you're just like, these people are nuts. They're saying, I love you after the second day and getting engaged. Like that's not what happened. Yeah. We were all there for 10 days. Like the engagements happened on the 10th day. I don't know how, I can't speak for the other seasons, but it wasn't this like pop-up thing for us. And, you know, people were falling for each other, but there was also like lots of different relationships going on. And like, I just think it's so interesting to see other people talking in the pods versus who ended up with actually who. And then like how they got there, I don't know. It's just like
so the traditional edit of like the one couple who's clearly in love the most on the first day, the Lauren and Cameron from your season, the Brennan and Alexa from last season, they are not falling in love that fast. It's 10 days instead of 1 day.
I mean, it's definitely probably like a few days. Like, I don't really remember exactly when Lauren and Cameron like said, I love you or anything like that.
But were they the first to propose? Do you remember?
No. So we all proposed on the same day. Again, can't speak to the other seasons, but, and I'm probably maybe not supposed to say this, but I feel like it's been talked about so much by other people that I'm like, okay. But we're all there for 10 days. Like, on the 10th day is when you got like the engagements. So everyone's kind of scheduled with whoever their last 2 are, and what do you do in those pods is up to you. You can propose, you can just hang out, like whatever. So, or you can get dumped like me. Like the possibilities are endless. Yeah.
Now, you said that you wanted more pod episodes. Are you biased, LC?
Yeah, I never made
that was going to be my question too.
13 episodes of pod episodes, and then never leave the pods.
Yeah, and then
after the altar.
Do you think we should bring back people from season 1, specifically LC, and have an LC show?
Just me. And I probably
Yeah.
still will only be in the last episode, so it won't actually matter. But like, or the first episode, the
After
last
Perfect
episode.
Match, you deserve it. You deserve
Thank you.
an LC show all about LC. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, but no one knows who I am versus like only like a few minutes from each show, really. But no, but I will say, I think it's more so like when I think of like more pod stuff, I don't even really think about my storyline in the pods, to be honest. I really mostly think about, well, while I had a lot more going on than just the Barnett thing, but like I think that it's more for like, I don't like, you don't really understand why like Barnett picked Amber. Like you don't really understand why Lauren and Cameron fell so hard real quick. Like not really. Like you're like, oh, they like each other. They'd probably be a good match. Obviously, we know now they're a great match. But like,
yeah,
when you're when I was there, like hearing her talk about it, like all the things that happened, like just like I understand why, especially after seeing the pods too, like or knowing them in person. Or actually, no, not seeing when I watched the season, I was like, maybe I'll see like their connection, just like because we didn't see that. I wasn't in the pods with them while we were filming, but I was like, maybe when I watch it, like, yeah, it's gonna be fun to like see all the people like fall for each other. And I was like, I don't really get it. Like if I didn't know them, like I know that they're a great couple, but like if I didn't know that, I'd be like, these people are nuts.
yeah.
Well, we do think that everyone is nuts, but
That is
actually, a big reason that I felt that Barnett chose Amber was because they juxtaposed Amber with you, and
Yeah.
a big part of it was that Amber. This is the way that it was edited. Was that Amber opened up more, and that you were edited to be more like kind of closed off and just talk about like surface level stuff.
Which I will say,
is that true?
Listen, I'm an Aquarius, okay? I
don't know what that means. Can we
listen? That means that I can come off very aloof. I think I definitely can like
Okay.
It takes me a little bit long. And also I was 26 when we filmed this. I'm 31 now, so I feel like that's important to note as well. And we also had no idea what this process was like. Like, I think if I had seen a season, I probably would be more willing to open up, I think, because I'm like, oh, this is the point. But while we were there, like, I definitely opened up like way more than you saw. Like, there's so much more that we talked about, like with all the guys, but just specifically like Barnett. There's so much more we talked about that was like pretty in depth. But me and him had very similar personalities where we had very similar senses of humors too. Like we would just like goof around and laugh. And that was like so refreshing because a lot of the pod conversations were so serious and like were so like my other person I was like almost like to the end with was Kenny, who is a whole different thing where I felt like I started feeling a little more uncomfortable with Kenny because I was like, he's really pushing me to talk about like, you know, feelings and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I don't want to look stupid. Like if I, like, what if, like, I know he's with Kelly still, you know, I know that the whole thing is going because she's always talking about how great her and Kenny are. And that kind of like messed with my mind a little bit. And, you know, I was like, I'm not going to fight for anybody. Like, I don't want to like do that. I don't want to look like and it didn't even really come from like, I don't want to look bad on TV. It was more like from my own real life. Like, I don't want to put myself out there and then get dumped. And then
it's a scary thing. Yeah. Being vulnerable on reality TV where you don't choose your edit. Yeah.
But I wasn't even like thinking of the TV part because at the time it was 2018 and there was no reality shows on Netflix. I was like, no one's going to watch a reality show on Netflix. Like, that's
little did you know. Yeah.
I was like, that's so weird. I was like, I watched The Bachelor. The best part about The Bachelor is like watching it live. Like it's like sports or something and like tweeting and seeing all the tweets. Like that's why it's fun. But if you're just going to binge watch a reality show, that's not fun. Like we had no idea at all.
How big this was going to be. Yeah.
When I'm saying like, I didn't want to see how I looked. Like I genuinely was not even thinking about TV. I was mostly just thinking like I don't want, like I've had this happen before where like I'll put myself out there and then they back up, or like people will say in my past I've dated like that they didn't even know that I liked them. And I'm like, how could you not know? Because in my head, I'm like, I like you. I like you. I like you. I'm here. I'm hanging out with you. Obviously I like you. But you know, I have to verbalize that for people to know.
Yeah.
So Love is Blind was definitely a challenge for me. It's a challenge for everyone, but for me specifically, it was more like I have to be vocal. Like I have to vocalize my feelings. I can't just like rely on, oh, they can see me smiling because like they can't. So you know, if I'm happy, I have to say that. If I'm sad, I have to say that. If I like them, I have to say that. And it was just way more vulnerable than even in real life, to be honest, but also like felt a lot safer in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like,
I think a lot of people say that about
it's like
about being on the show.
I do wish I had seen a season before because I think I would have been a little different, but we just didn't know how it works. Like we were all there, which I think is why season 1 is so great. Like we were all just genuinely there, like in the moment. Like I don't remember, unless I was being interviewed, like in a side interview, like I don't really remember even like, looking at, like acknowledging the cameras really. Like, I don't know.
It's very like, I think the word might be authentic season. It's very raw in many ways.
Well, and what I think is so funny is that we've had a lot of drama behind the scenes, you know, when the show came out, whatever, and like majority of that we've kept out of the public. Like there's some people we're talking, like people I will talk shit about, people talking shit about me, people I've unfollowed from my season that we're just not going there. Like, you know, whatever. Like
you can tell us about that. This is a safe place. You can be vulnerable here.
It's just the pods.
It's
just us. This is the pods. Tell us.
Yeah. Let me turn my camera off. Now we're in the pods.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, it's funny because we haven't like aired any, like we haven't like publicly, like we weren't like making reels about it or like TikToks. I didn't even know TikTok was a thing until like months after Love is Blind came out, when the pandemic, you know, was fully alive and well. And, you know, like we're not like capitalizing off of our drama. I feel like some of the other seasons have. I'm like, damn, y'all are like ruthless. Like I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings like that. Like, dang.
You're not gonna go find like all of Barnett's exes and hang out with them or anything like that.
No.
Right?
And like Amber and Barnett, especially when After the Altar came out, Amber and Barnett were talking a good amount of shit about me in the press, and I was like, what the fuck ever. Like I'm done with this. Like
she's married, okay, Elsie? She's married. She's married.
I'm a butter trash single woman.
Married.
God, wait, what
married.
She's got a free pass.
What was
she's married.
Oh, okay.
Married.
I don't really know what that means. I feel like when you say
ever
it so
since
much,
we booked the interview, I've just been waiting to say that to you.
Yes.
Figured. Okay.
Maybe our favorite part of the After the Altar from season 1.
Well, when I was watching it, when I was in that moment of that scene was.
It's wild. It's still hands down the best After the Altar we've had. Hands down.
Yo, that conversation was probably about 30-40 minutes.
Oh my God. Of her just saying married?
We're just saying married.
I will say it felt like 30 or 40 minutes. Maybe it wasn't. But I'm not a confrontational person. I am, but if we can keep the energy here, like this is me when I'm really mad. This is me going off on someone.
Yeah.
I can't match that energy Amber had. Like, no. I wish I could. Diamond can. Diamond can. And Diamond knew that. Because Diamond was like, not today. Yeah. And there have been times where like someone's coming for Diamond and like I can like get in there with them too. But like, I'm so thankful for Diamond in that moment. But also I was like trying to get her to go away. Because also production was giving me a sign. Like they have like phones that they'll like write text on. It's like flashing and they'll like show you a thing. And what they want you to ask a specific question or something. And they're like, walk away, LC, walk away. And I was like, walking away. She's like here defending me over something that has nothing to do with either one of them.
Walk away, LC. She's about to take out a tank wrench. I
was like, I will look like the worst friend ever. And then, but I realized after that, like once they kept being like, walk away, we have to leave. Because there was a noise ordinance that we had to be off that rooftop and inside at a certain time. That's why we had to get off. I was like, listen, I'm not walking away. And they're like, grab Diamond and walk away. And I was like, I can't grab her. She's on a roll.
I don't see that working out well for you.
Yeah. And so you see me a little bit like, I think that when we finally get up, I'm like physically grab her and I'm like, let's go.
Well, I love that was because of a noise ordinance. That is hilarious.
Otherwise, it would have just kept going. And they were both like, it was just talking in circles because Amber was, and also even before I got that note, I was like, this is a pointless conversation. Like you kind of see me like shut down a little bit because I'm like, she's not listening. Like she doesn't want to listen. Mm-hmm. She thinks what she heard from her friend who has every reason to lie about this. I have no reason to lie. The truth actually does make me look like a fucking idiot. And I don't know if I can cuss here, but
yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So, but I was like, the truth actually makes me look bad. So like, I don't want to like, but the truth is the truth. So, yeah, I'm like, I have no reason to lie. Her friend has every reason to lie. And also Diamond, I was talking to every day when all that stuff was happening. And, I'm just like, she doesn't want to listen. She doesn't want to hear it. So what's the point in talking? Like, there's no point in talking to someone who's not willing to listen. She did not ever there was no conversation at all. She didn't hear anything I said. She talked over me the whole time. She talked over Diamond the whole time. And she's like, I'm right, you're wrong. It's what it is. And I'm like, okay. Cool. Yeah. You believe what you want to believe. I don't give a shit. I know what happened. So
that's it. That's her personality. She's set in her ways.
She's a tank girl. She's
a tank girl. She's a tank girl.
Listen, she came at us with a full tank there too. And I will say it goes, I get she was defending her friend. I get it. I will defend my friends more than I will defend myself. And Diamond is the same kind of person. She'll defend herself too. But she's the same protective kind of person. But the difference between me and Diamond is that if I had done what Mark had done, if I had done that to Mark, Diamond would have been like, LC, that's kind of fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. And I would have been like, yeah, you're right. I did definitely handle that situation horribly. I tried to get away with something and I did not get away with it. And instead, but she would still be like, LC fucked up, but you don't get to talk shit about her. People are human, making mistakes. I get defending your friend, but I'm not blind. I'm not the friend who's blindly going to be defending everything that you do. If my friends do something that is horrible, then I'm going to be like, that was horrible. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, I could see how that was horrible. And same with me.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
I want to be called out if I'm doing something shitty, especially if I don't really know. I would like to know that I'm hurting someone's feelings. That's not my intention. So if I say something or whatever, I have a very dry sense of humor. I can say some things without thinking, and I want people to call me out. So I don't get that kind of friendship. And Mark would never defend Amber like that. And he hasn't. So
yeah. Well, that's not surprising.
That's not surprising at all.
Let's start digging in to Love is Blind Season 4, Episode 1. Is everybody ready?
Yeah, Seattle edition. Here we go.
Seattle edition. Okay. Get out your Nirvana CDs and your Starbucks cups. We're going to Seattle. We're ready.
I hope we've all watched Sleepless in Seattle right before this so we can make references.
Yes. Our illustrious hosts show up. Elsie, are you still in touch with Nick and Vanessa, or do you still hang out with them?
I've never hung out with them. Okay. I interacted with them on the shows, and they're both been really nice every time. I will say Vanessa in our season, they didn't really know how they were going to use them yet. So they were there every day pretty much. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, and they didn't
big change to what it is now on their shows.
Yeah, we talked to them probably every other day, I feel like. And there's pods, they were somewhere, whether it was an interview or they were hanging out in the house. But Vanessa was on our side of the house and Nick was on that side. So I know Vanessa more. I've cried in her arms. She's cried in mine.
Oh my God. Wow.
Love her.
Yeah, I feel like Vanessa was channeling Oprah a little bit this season. Listen to this.
You will see your fiance for the very first time.
You get a fiance. You get a fiance.
Look under your chair. Look under your chair. There's a fiance under your chair.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's for sure the vibe.
Yes.
And I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too. She's trying new things.
Yeah,
I love it. I'd love to see her show up in character as her NCIS Hawaii character. That's what I'd like.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
She's just in the corner of the pods,
she just comes in there. Everybody get down on the ground.
Yeah, I love that.
I watched an episode of NCIS Hawaii, actually. I got to see her in action. She was good. I mean, it's really hard to tell if anybody's a good actor on an NCIS show.
It's a procedural. It's a procedural.
I mean, it's a procedural. They're all doing the same. It's all very wooden, but she was very good at it.
I'm sure she's good. I'm sure
she was good. She was good.
I actually haven't seen it, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's your best friend. You have to watch it.
I know.
You cried in each other's arms.
I know. That was in 2018. We haven't cried in each other's arms since then. So But I didn't even cry in Nick's arms during Perfect Match. I wasn't there long enough to cry with Nick Lachey. So
yeah,
or the other Nick. You know.
Okay, so we start meeting people. We meet Chelsea. She's 30. She's a pediatric speech language pathologist. I don't think that's a real thing. That's so redundant.
It sounds fake.
No,
That's
it is
fake. That's fake.
Well, first of all, a speech language pathologist, otherwise known as SLP. My cousin is one, also one of my best friends from childhood is one, and I am in recruiting. And my first recruiting job, I was staffing them, and so I learned what they were, and I was like, this is so cool. I've also probably should go to one at some point, but like,
why? You sound amazing.
Well, I used to have like the beginnings of vocal nodules, and I was a musical theater major, so that was like a big deal to find out my second semester senior year.
Where'd you go?
It's a really small private school in the mountains in Georgia. Like even people in Georgia don't know it. So, but it's
Max has a similar background. I think that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So it's like a very. I went to an ENT and they're like, you should go to an SLP to like do your voice trainings and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, but then I never did. But it's a good job. It's a cool job.
I still don't believe it's real.
It's not real. Like
I think you're lying.
I pick one. You can be a language pathologist or a speech pathologist, but you can't be a speech language pathologist.
You want to make it more nuanced.
It's a little redundant. Speech and language.
Between speech is like, I can't say my R's, like little kids, like who can't say their R's.
Yeah, it's vocalizing. Yeah.
Yeah, like how you speak. And then the language you say, like if you have like an accent maybe or something and you're trying to learn, like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like
that makes sense.
I don't trust her. They need to stay away from this one. This Chelsea, she's
well, from season 3, Nancy is a speech pathologist as well.
I thought she was a realtor. I
think she does that.
She's a landlord, right?
Yeah. She's a landlord. She's a bails bondswoman's daughter.
Also that. She's well-rounded.
Okay, so Chelsea talks to Kwame, which means born on a Saturday. I think that's the best day of the week, he says. She bought 21 pairs of shoes to the pods.
I was like, how many suitcases did you bring?
How many pairs of shoes did you bring, Elsie?
I'm not a shoe girl, so I probably brought maybe 4 or 5 pairs max.
Yeah.
And I really only... Yeah, probably about 5 pairs, I would say, maybe 4 or 5.
Were you saying maximum, or were you telling me about the shoes and not Ben?
You know what? I'm gonna let you interpret that how you want.
Okay. Like we're having a conversation, you're leaving Ben out of it.
Just me and Max.
Let me tell you about the shoes, Ben. Max.
I understood what she was saying. I took no offense, Max, but thank you for that, for stepping up.
Let's have a shoe conversation and leave Ben out of it.
You're a real Amber defending me to the death, and I appreciate it.
Really, that's really sweet.
21 pairs of shoes. It's just for the audience, so we can see the shoes. She's like, you got to see my shoe collection.
I don't know. I want to know how she packed. Like, that's what I really want to know.
I'm wondering if Chelsea is going to be this season's like Shayna, if she's going to be the one who doesn't make it to the pod or doesn't make it to the next step of this journey, but she still gets invited. She gets invited. What's that?
Yeah. Also, I'm like, the fuck is this? I didn't make it, but I didn't get invited to anything after.
I know. What is with that? Yeah. You guys didn't have that on your season.
No. Season 2, though, there was no LC getting dumped there was no one getting dumped in the pods, really. Which I've noticed I feel like that's minimal LCs are going to be out there, I think, in these seasons because everyone has seen how they work. And I feel like everyone has 2 options. Like everyone has their option and a backup option. So just in case they don't get engaged to that person, they'll get engaged to this one. That's the vibe I get. Like since season 2, I felt like that a little bit on season 3, although season 3 did give us Andrew. So he was, if we're going to say there was someone who's an LC in there, Andrew did get dumped in the pods. But yeah, they all had like little get-togethers after. We always talked about how fun that would be when we were out of the pods. We all met because we all live in Atlanta. That was wild. But we all were like hanging out like religiously for like probably like 2 months. Trauma bonded, I guess. But
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have been so fun to get everyone together while they were still like filming stuff and see how people interacted or whatever. But it is what it is.
Yeah. How long like did it take you to meet Barnett, and was it after him and Amber were married? When did you meet Barnett relative to when you were in the pods?
So the first thing I did when I got my phone back was look up all these people, specifically Barnett, and I was like, that is who I was crying about. He wasn't ugly. He's not ugly, but he's definitely not my type, which I will say can kind of speak to it working, because when I did meet him, I found myself like being a little like flirty, and I was like, whoa, I have to stop. Like, he's married. This is weird. But also I was like, he's not ugly though. I do think he's cute. He's married. I'm not going to go there. But I remember meeting him. I was like, okay, he's actually like, I am like attracted to him, which I would not be if I just saw him on a dating app or if I just met him at a bar randomly. There's no way I would not be into him at all. But I was like, whoa, it kind of worked. Love really might be blind.
Love really is truly blind, everybody.
The experiment works.
It did. But by the time I met him, it was like
truly blind.
I love when they say it like that. Is love truly blind?
Yeah. I love it when the ministers do it, when the justice of the pieces do it. It's great.
Oh yeah, that's a good time too. But to answer your question, I guess so the weddings, we filmed in October, November, like the pods were October, and then everything else is like end of October, November. And I met Barnett in like January. So their weddings had already happened. So, and Amber was with him. And she did tell him, she was like, you need to buy Elsie a drink because that's the least you could do. And I was like, thank you, Amber. Me and Amber were friends, by the way.
Crazy.
Until the Mark thing. Until Mark ruined it.
Literally until Mark. And I was like, well,
that's so weird. It wasn't.
That is bizarre.
That is bizarre.
But it kind of makes me feel like, were you just like looking for a reason to be mad at me? Okay. I'll go with that.
She did seem like she was on edge from the very beginning of that night.
Well, I think because she knew she was probably going to have to defend Mark because he didn't come.
Yeah.
And Jessica was there.
Yeah. So there's that.
I'm like, bruh, that was 2 years ago. When we filmed After the Altar, it was 2 years after they got married.
It was that long after?
Yes.
Wow.
2 full years, almost exactly. And I was like, you can't get over this? But I should get over Mark giving me COVID and lying to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but did she mention that she's married?
It's true. I wasn't
married.
She's married.
All single women deserve to be treated like shit.
That's married.
There's your soundbite.
It's a great comment from Maria in the chat. Ben, have you considered making fun of Max and Elsie for not being married?
You guys have not considered it at all.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's because I feel bad for them. I just feel so bad. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, listen, roll the footage from right before we got outside.
Yeah. Speaking of unmarried losers, Chelsea and Kwame, we were talking about. Kwame, he was a professional soccer player, but he got injured. He says he might never get over it.
That is sad.
That is sad. I don't think I want to marry somebody who could never get over something, though.
Yeah, but that's like your life dream, Like he probably played soccer his whole life, and that's what he wanted to do.
I think I could marry someone who I would understand. I'd be sympathetic. I'm just saying, red flag.
Right, for sure. It definitely would be difficult, I think, actually. Because, well, also, too, I think there's always going to be the thing of, like, they might not ever feel, like, fully complete,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And
then I'd be like, all right, so how do you feel about your exes? Let's talk about all of your exes. Okay, are you over them? Or, like, what percentage over them are you? I need to know. So, like, how are we going to
This is the type of digging you have to do in the pods. You have to know these things. You do.
It is the kind of digging I never would have done.
Yeah. There's also something he said that really stood out to me, and I don't know if it's going to be foreshadowing or not. At the end of this conversation, he said he thinks he's a really good person, and I think that it can really go either way.
Didn't Bartise say that last season?
Yeah, I feel that there was just one point where it seemed that Bartise was a really good person, and that's when I said I don't think Bartise is a good person.
Yeah.
Look, let's just be honest here. The men on the show do not have a great track record.
Bartises are shithead.
I'm like, what's that?
Did
That
Abby
was Abby.
lie? That was Abby.
Did Abby lie? Did she lie? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No, she did not lie. Abby never. Listen, I will say, like, I love Bartise. He is a good friend of mine. We have become really good friends.
But he's a shithead.
But he's kind of a shithead, though.
No,
kind of
but
a shithead
also,
friend.
I do think it's different once you see how you act on TV. You're like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was coming off like that. Like, because in your head, you're like, I'm not doing this with bad intentions. Like how my talk is with Shane. I didn't say anything with bad intentions. I was trying to like validate his feelings. And I was like, now I see it and I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounded a little harsh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Different than Bartise, I know. But like, I will say Bartise never has watched him. He's never filmed something. Everything that he has filmed, he filmed without ever seeing himself on TV.
Right.
Except the reunion, which is why I think he's a little calmer in the reunion episode. But they filmed after the altar season, their season, and Perfect Match without him ever seeing any of it. Yeah. But he had seen some when the reunion came out. Not everything, but he had seen most of their season. I think half their season probably. I don't know if they gave him like screeners to watch, but he had seen himself at that point and heard the reactions of people, and he was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Abby knew how he was going to look. Abby knew.
Yes.
Yeah. She wasn't wrong. She was not wrong. There's actually a conversation.
Like such a dick.
Gonna look like such a dick. I was like, Abigail. Not wrong.
Not wrong.
Yeah. I actually had a conversation with him after that talk because I saw Abby like storm off and I was like, what just happened? And she's like, I can't talk about it right now. And then I was like, Bartise, what did you do? And they didn't show any of this. But like I was like, Bartise, what did you do? And like I sat him down. He told me what he did. And I was like, I was like, Bartise. He's like, well,
no.
You know, it's the point of the show. We're dating. Blah, blah. I was like, okay, it's not what you did. It's how you did it.
Oh,
you're going to look like a dick.
Were all you Love Is Blind people on Perfect Match looking out for each other out there? Was that, are you guys like do you have a thing?
You have an alliance?
An alliance?
Yeah. Me, Damien, and Diamond maybe, but like I didn't really know Bartise. I didn't know Shane at all. The conversation you saw me talking to with Shane, that's the only time I've ever talked to him in my life, really.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've like randomly like, if we're like, we went to a premiere thing in February and like he was there, like I interacted with him, but in a group setting, like I never had like a full conversation with him other than that.
Right.
Despite everyone thinking I know him. She's like, she just should have known how he would react. And I was like,
yeah.
What? Okay. Anyway. Season 1 of Love Is Blind, or season 4 of Love Is Blind.
Yeah.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
All right, so let's all take a vote. Do we think that Kwame is going to end up being a good person? What do we think about when people say they're a good person? I don't think it's a good sign. I think this is going to go south. That's my vote. I think it's going to go south.
Yeah, anyone who's a good person doesn't say it.
Yeah, except
They
for
just
me.
do it.
I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person. I'm the exception.
It's weird. That's how he signs off every podcast. I don't know.
Say, I'm a good person. Good night.
Yeah, this episode we're here for we're gonna be here for a while. So
I'm a good person who doesn't believe in a language speech pathologist. I don't think they're real. I don't think they're a real thing.
Look, like I said, the numbers don't lie. The track records of the men on this show don't lie. It's probably not gonna end well for this guy. Just based on the track records alone.
Well, isn't he the one who like was like with in between Chelsea and Mika? Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Chelsea and
okay.
Mika. Mm-hmm.
But see, yeah, I think he could maybe fuck up a little because I know there's something in the trailer that's like, I proposed to the wrong person or whatever. So I think maybe that was about it could be him about his like half proposal to Mika. And then her turning him down, kind of, but not really. Yeah. Because again, I think all these people are keeping people on the back burner and it makes me so mad. I'm like, just go for it. Get dumped. Who fucking cares? Like, I did it. I'm still here. They asked me to come back for 2 shows. So like,
yeah.
After the altar and for Perfect Match.
There's always more shows, guys.
Yeah, there's so many shows, guys. That's what you're here for. If you're just worried about being on a show, like it's fine. This is not the show. This is not the show to stay on if you just want to be on a show. This is not.
They're just trying to up their odds to go on to the next round.
Yeah,
they want more followers.
Right. I'm like, Perfect Match is that show where like you could just kind of stay even if you don't really like them. It's not that serious. Like Love is Blind is not that show.
The stakes are a little higher. Getting married.
Getting engaged and married, like that's like a literal wedding, a legally binding wedding. Like you're getting married, you're signing the papers. Like,
yeah,
this is not the show to just be on because you want to stay on, to try to stay on. Like, so it makes me so mad when I'm like, I genuinely know that like you can have two people that you're interested in, whatever. But I just feel like the way Mika handled that with Kwame
and Micah.
And Micah. Sorry, I don't know anything.
I know it's
Micah.
hard as shit. I
literally just looked up their like the Love is Blind Instagram to like scroll through their faces to see. But Chelsea's like, I'm so here for it, whatever. So Kwame knows that Chelsea is there. So he doesn't feel scared to go for Mika like that. Mika has Paul on the back burner.
Yes.
And so she's like, well, I actually like Paul, but I know Kwame likes me. Basically, it's like a
and Paul also has Amber also on the
right.
Yes, I think.
They're all doing it. They all have someone they actually want, and then they have someone that they will take just in case. And I'm like,
yep.
Makes me so mad.
Well, they have to.
It does make good TV though. It makes good TV. I will say
it does, but I'm like, come on. Because I don't feel like that was like that with like me, Amber, and Barnett. I do feel like he was like genuinely like didn't know.
Yes. And listener Maria says that Paul is her dad's name, which we love.
Micah?
We love
Micah's dad or Amber's? Micah's.
Yeah, Micah's dad's name is Paul.
I need a daddy, a real big daddy.
We love daddy stuff on the podcast.
Fun. Oh, yeah.
Any kind of daddy complex is something that we need.
Elsie, could you date someone with your father's name? Is that something you could do?
I don't really know because I never called my dad. My dad's name is Daniel. Dan.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
I've never called my dad Dan. Like, so I don't even know if I would associate it because I have friends that are named Dan or Daniel that I don't even like think of like, oh, that's my dad's name.
Yeah, that's true.
So my dad's name is Daddy.
Yeah.
I do still call him Daddy because I'm a daddy's girl.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
I call my mom though, not mommy. I feel like I just want to throw it out there.
Okay, let's move on a little bit, guys. Just a little bit through the show. Okay, so Kwame and Micah, they start talking. They talk about how manifestation is real. They're both into manifestation. And you know that this was filmed in the past because they're not talking about lucky girl syndrome. Elsie, are you familiar with lucky girl syndrome? We talk about this a lot.
You know, I am on the TikToks.
Yes.
I do see the Gen Z lingos, and I'm like, this just feels like what millennials.
So are we. No big deal, but we're not.
We're big on lucky. We're big lucky girls here. We lucky girls you onto the podcast. Actually,
listen, lucky girl syndrome is the same thing as manifesting because the manifesting first became like a thing that we talked about. Everyone was like, well, you can't just think it and then want it and it's gonna happen. You have to do things, and I'm like, yeah, obviously, but like some people didn't know that, and I think lucky girl syndrome. People were talking about that as well. So.
Back in our day, they called it.
You just have to be a lucky girl, and then things happen. And so I made myself a lucky girl, and things have been happening for me.
Exactly. I mean, I would love to be a lucky girl. Like, who would
you can be? Just say you're a lucky girl, and things happen for you. That's the syndrome.
It's true.
I'm a lucky girl.
Yeah, there you go.
I have a syndrome.
There you go.
You should change your initials from LC to LG for lucky.
Yeah.
Good. I really, really should actually.
Because once you change it, and it is your name, then it's going to start all coming for. It's all going to happen for you.
Yeah. Would I have to change my last name, or could I just go by LG?
You just go by LG. Just change it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be a millionaire.
I'm in.
Just like me. Micah, they gave her a theme song. If you guys want to hear it.
I get anything I want with just a wink and a smile. A wink and a smile.
True lucky girl. True lucky girl.
That is a lucky girl song.
Smile. Yeah.
Although a true lucky girl wouldn't even need the wink and the smile, would they? Because it would just.
She doesn't need anything. She can just like melt into a couch and just things come to her.
And people find her.
Yeah. She doesn't even need to go into the pod. Somebody just proposes.
Yeah. I don't really know, but that is
You
funny.
take 1 foot outside of her place, and someone
Yeah.
that's how LP works.
Just like 100,000 just dumps onto her, like
Yeah.
like Shane in the pool. With the pool.
Yeah.
It just.
We had Shane on the podcast, and he really wasn't over that yet. He's not over it.
Still very raw for him.
I didn't know that had happened, by the way, and I never saw them being happy and cute. I never saw that. I got there after Mitch was there. After Mitch and I would just got. It was like not even 24 hours after Mitch left. Like, and so I was like, "Oh, have you guys talked about it?" I don't know. Whatever. It was funny though. If that happened to me, I would have died laughing.
Yeah.
In the moment, I would have been like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
Yeah, he's a sensitive guy. I think he's still upset about the strikeouts at Wrigley Field. So it's
Motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You know, I get over things real quick, so I don't know.
yeah.
So Paul enters the picture. He's 28. He's an environmental scientist. He's Paul the third, but he doesn't go by Trey. Usually, I feel like people who are the third go by Trey. You have let's say you're looking at me weird. So most people named Trey, they're not Trey is a nickname for people who are the third.
Didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought like Junior or something.
That's weird.
So
Why didn't they call the Shrek 3 just Trey then?
They should have.
Because it was Shrek the third.
Like Shrek Trey.
They should have, yes. But people aren't usually named Trey. They're usually the third.
Wait, are you like fucking with me right now? Or
no, I'm not. I'm literally not. You can look.
I've never
up.
heard this either, Elsie.
This is so. If I was the third Max, my nickname could be Trey because I'm the third.
Like Trey, like the French. Is that French for three? I don't know.
Trey or Trip is usually a nickname for people who are the third of something.
Huh.
I never knew this.
So a lot of people, it's not always. There are some people who are just named Trey, but a lot of people who you've met who are named Trey, they're usually like Robert the Third or Lawrence the Third or something.
Interesting.
So Paul could be a Trey, but he's not. Like, why not just be a Trey?
I always thought it was short for Trayson or something.
Yeah, no.
I think it's like Paul is such an adult name. It's one of those names where I'm like, how can you look an infant baby in the face and be like, I'm going to call you Paul?
Yeah, I feel that too.
One.
So yeah, why wouldn't you just call him Trey?
Trey, I could name baby Trey.
Yeah, I can name baby Trey.
Little baby Trey Rex.
Yeah,
and
Trey Rex.
I just made that up. That actually would be cute.
If they're the fourth, do you call them like
Quattro?
Yeah, Quadro. Yeah, you guys haven't heard that before? Come on.
Hello, that makes a lot of sense. I know so many people named Quattro.
Yeah, Quattro. Schick Quattro Razor is the full name.
It's the fourth Razor.
Yeah, Razor.
Hey, we shouldn't be sponsoring other razor products, Max. We're sponsored by Manscaped.
That's true. By Manscaped.
Yeah. Manscaped didn't need 4 tries. They just needed 1.
That's right. Exactly.
Thank you, LC.
Use code Reality Alert.
Does Paul give anybody else the creeps, guys? Does he creep? The guy creeps
He's a
me
weirdo.
out.
He's a weirdo. But I like it though. I like it.
No,
He's going to be good TV.
Anybody on audio, when I said that he gives me the creeps, you should have seen Elsie's face. She was like, "Yes, creep."
He's a weirdo.
He's giving me the ick a little.
Yep, ick went through my mind too. I got icked out.
I'm like, why are we always talking about? He's like, yeah, I just want to pick you up and make out. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, please
Ew.
don't. Please don't.
Yeah, that's like a cool thing to do, but we don't have to talk about it. Like, that's weird.
I want to twirl you around.
I want to put you on my lap and be Santa Claus. Okay.
I want to make you my ho. Like, all right, Trey, calm down.
He talked to 2 separate women about going to Italy. It's like, you're using the same line. We can see it. We see you using the same line. It's a bad look.
That doesn't work out usually either.
A lot of guys do in the pods, though. A lot of people do in the pods. Let's think about this, though. we go on dates. We say the same things pretty much on every first date. And for the most
I'm creative. I would say I'll take you to Italy. Then the next girl, I'll take you to I'll take you to Greece. Just so I don't get caught with the receipts. Okay,
that's fair. Yeah. Because I will say, like Barnett, a lot of the reason why the night before the engagement day with Barnett and stuff, I tried to leave. I had a full meltdown, and I tried to leave. And the day of engagement day, I had taken all my stuff. I packed all my stuff, and I was like, I'm leaving either way. Like I don't even care. And I was like, either way, I'm done, because I had learned the night before. After the conversation I had with Barnett that you don't see is Barnett being like, well, I guess I'm going to have to go break up the Amber. And I was like, oh my God. And then I see Amber skip out of her pod. And I was like, that doesn't look like a girl that just got dumped. And had been drinking a little at this point. And I was like, me and Amber decided we weren't going to say anything about, our interaction with Barnett to each other. She got very drunk, started telling me all this stuff. And I was like, huh. Sounds very similar to all the things he's saying to me. Fuck this guy. Literally fuck this guy. Like, and that's why in the pods, when I'm like, I would have never done this to you, blah, blah, blah. Like you should have given me a heads up. Like you should have told me any of this. Like, so it kind of sounds like I'm being really dramatic in that moment, but there's so much you don't see that I'm like, I don't know. But
Barnett really drives him to drink, huh? He just really after a date with Barnett.
Yeah,
you got to pound down a couple. I tell you what.
Mark too. Jess was drinking the whole time, and I get it. But yeah, I will say though, Guy. I think a lot of people say a lot of the same things to a lot of people in the pods, like guy and girl. But you're right though. There needs to be some kind of differing here. Like I don't know. Mm-hmm. Let's go to. Maybe I don't want to go to Italy.
yeah. Where do you want? Maybe ask them where they want to go. Uh-huh. Maybe ask if they want to be picked up.
Yeah, let's talk about where we want to go. Let's discuss together.
He said one thing that stood out to me. He says, as a scientist, he expected to see holes in this experiment, but it's surprisingly sound.
No holes, just pods.
We hear this a lot, that this is an experiment, not a reality show, LC. This is an experiment.
Not a journey, like they say on The Bachelor. It's not a journey.
They gave a hypothesis at the beginning of the show. Yes. We believe love is truly blind, and they've been working this out.
We are aware that there's a lot of scientists holding clipboards and beakers off screen. Did you talk to any of the scientists while you were there?
It kind of was like, you just kind of unsee the cameras. You kind of unsee the scientists too. Like it's just...
I see. Yeah, they're just there, always taking notes.
Yeah, you kind of just forget about it. Mm-hmm. You just don't have to focus on the scientists and the clipboards so much. Like they're pretty quiet, so it's pretty easy. They kind of stay off into the corners and make their little notes.
So I hope that one of these next names isn't too triggering for you. Paul and Amber. She's 33. She's a flight attendant.
I'm sorry.
She's not married though, so she sucks.
Piece of trash.
Yeah,
she's not a tank mechanic either. So
yeah. What's up with them and flight attendants? Zenib was a flight attendant.
There was a flight attendants on season 1.
Yeah, that's true. But so I guess it's not a trend yet.
I think flight attendants can easily like adjust their schedules. So like you see a lot of flight attendants on like The Bachelor and stuff like that too. I feel like because it's a job where you can kind of like a realtors and like like I know like there's a lot of realtors everywhere on these reality shows. There's a lot of like flight attendants. And
that's true. Yeah. I've seen flight attendants. Big Brother has flight attendants.
I think
too.
Though that these men also find women who are flight attendants sexy because they're like, oh, I can travel with you to all these places
all across the world.
And then also a secret part of their mind is like, oh, she's not going to be around a lot. They're like, oh, that's great. So I can travel with you when I want. And then like you won't bother me. Like I think that's part of it.
It could be.
I think it's all just they're seeing coupons in their eyes, discounts on.
I think the discounts.
Honestly, if I was going to date a flight attendant or a pilot, I would be thinking the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I definitely be thinking the traveling, but I don't think I would like them not being like around a lot. I think that would be.
I'd be okay with that. It depends on the relationship. If I had a lot of trust there, like I love to just do my own thing. So I'm like,
it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm. I'm codependent, so it wouldn't work out for me.
I am too, Max. I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe that's why I'm still single though, and I'm a trash single person. So I never deserve anything good because I like to be by myself, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's a healthy sign. It means you're okay with being by yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas Max and I, we have to be podcasting with each other every day while Love is Blind is
That's
on.
fair.
You know?
Listen, I survived for 5 weeks by myself waiting for Perfect Match. So
So Amber has been married twice before. I don't think we've ever had anybody on the show who's been married twice before. Once before, but not
wasn't Cole? Cole was married twice before.
No, Cole's married
just once.
Was it just the once? Okay.
Yes.
Amber is 34. I'm seeing.
Oh, thank you.
So that's better than what Cole was. Cole was
yeah.
He was like 18, I think, Cole.
Yeah, about 18 or 19.
Married.
Yeah.
Seems like a great time to get married. But I will say maybe Amber I don't know how long she's not been married. I would like to know that. I don't know if I missed it or if it's just not on there.
That's important. Like when did she break off the marriage?
Yeah, like how long were these marriages? Because I live in the South, and I know a good bit of people who got married really young because that's what you do in the good old South. And you gotta get married and start having babies. That's what everyone does. And so I think there is a little bit of that. That I know I'm 31 now. And so anyone like late 20s, early 30s, I feel like a lot of people I know have been divorced already because they got married when like 20 years old. Abby on Perfect Match, she got married and she's only like 27, I think, 28 now.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think she was 26 when we filmed. So maybe she's like, yeah, she'd already been married before and divorced. So like, I think people just get married young and they're like, people change. Your frontal lobe is not even developed yet. Come on.
Yeah.
But
that's what casting is looking for, right? For a show where you get married after or engaged after 10 days, married after a short period of time. You want people that are willing to take that plunge a lot faster than your average person.
But you would think if someone's been married once or twice before that they might be more hesitant to do it again. Yeah. I don't know. I would be.
And yet she's on the show.
I know, but yet she's on Love is Blind.
Yeah. What better way to figure it out than in front of everyone in the
world? Cole too was very anxious to get married again in the last season.
Yeah. I think there is
during the pods. During the
pods,
he was very anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that like being religious for Cole was definitely a part of the inspiration. I wonder if we haven't seen it for Amber, if that could be playing a role for it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I feel like we don't really see too much of Amber in the first episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Which probably means there's more of a story there. Also, if you noticed, no one in the first episode, this is the first season that no one in the first episode got engaged.
I know. I totally had that on my mental bingo card.
Makes me nervous because usually the one who gets engaged, like the couple that gets engaged in the first episode is like the Lauren and Cameron, like the one that for sure is going to get to the altar and they're going to say yes. Like that's like been the thing. Like everyone who has been that first couple in the pods in the first episode to get married or to get on the show, to get engaged in the show on the first episode, they're always the ones that make it. So
well, and I think we thought for sure as an audience that it was going to be Brett and Tiffany this episode until the last scene, where maybe we start questioning them.
Same. I was like, what?
Yeah.
She was me though. Because they were putting me to sleep the whole fucking
They were kind of boring this episode.
Boring.
I will say we got like about 3 hours of sleep maximum per night for 10 days. And I was not okay. I learned that I definitely need to sleep because I was like crying over literally nothing. They were like, one day they were like, oh, lunch is going to be like 20 minutes late. And I was like,
yeah. Max and I have both worked in production, so we get it. We understand.
Yeah. Right. Like as the girls specifically, because we wouldn't stop filming until like 2 something in the morning. We wouldn't get back to our there's lots of things out there to say where we were staying at. It wasn't this house. But we were getting back to where we were going and where we were sleeping at, like within an hour, because we had to be unmiked. We all everyone had to get unmiked. We all had to wait for everything to shut down. And we got in our little shuttles and like we go to where we sleep. And then we have to get, as women, you have to continuity wise, you have to do your hair and makeup the same every day in the pods. And so they can edit things however they want, I guess. And so also on season 1, I will say they made us wear our day 1 outfits like 4 or 5 different days. And I was like, we're on day 6 in these day 1 outfits still. And people are going to think we're absolute psychopaths, but whatever. But So I will say, like, there's a severe lack of sleep. And I have too much anxiety to fall asleep in a situation like that. But there was a lot of people who were falling asleep in these pods. I don't know how you can fall asleep in the conversation, though, that she was having.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
He's really boring. He's really boring.
Well, but I also would say, like, there were times when we were in the pods that our mics would be malfunctioning, and like we wouldn't hear each other anymore. But it wasn't because they stopped talking. It was genuinely because like our mics just went out, because that's how they hear us, like through a speaker.
Through the lavs, yeah.
And so part of me was like, if I were him, I would just assume that the mics went out, like, to be honest. Like, but I'm sure production was like, because we would ask production, they'd be like, oh, sorry, we're having issues with the mics. So I'm sure production was like, no,
there's
the mics
no issue
are
with the
good.
mic. But they probably didn't tell him that she fell asleep. They were just like ambiguous about it.
I don't know. He doesn't seem to know what happened. He thinks that she just walked out, I think.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
I was like, oh my God, that would make me want to vomit. That's so sad. I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for her. Like, that's just bad all around.
I was happy because they were really boring, if I haven't mentioned that before. And I was like, finally, something mildly interesting between these two. I mean, that's something's happening.
But
they are the Alexa and Brennan of this season. It's their story is not going to be messy at all. I don't.
Well, something has to happen. I mean, we're on season 4, so there has to be new things.
Right. Well, but they also don't get engaged. Well, we don't know if they get engaged.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't know. This could be it for them. Maybe they both have backups. Who knows?
Yeah.
This comment from listener Maria: y'all always hate the couple that gets the smooth sailing edit. Yes, we've been clocked.
We're Team TV. Yeah.
We are team for. We're doing it for the grams.
We're Team Sorrow.
Yeah. We're Team
Malaise.
Team Realist.
How about Team Jacquelina? I like Jacquelina. She says she feels like a kid in the candy store. We see her we see her with a guy that is Billy. I think he wears leopards. He wears leopard print. Some guys like to cook. This guy, he gets like he talks about getting a bloody nose and stuff.
Oh, what the hell no.
She's very picky, I think, but she also really enjoys the dating process. And we also meet Zach, who says that he is a stripper that goes by Zach Attack.
Which then becomes very not funny.
Yeah,
I know.
It makes a very quick turn.
Like, not that it's like funny to like, I'm like, if you're a stripper, just, that is what it is. Like, who cares? But like, I didn't know he was joking at first. And then he was like, well, I'm actually a criminal defense lawyer. And I was like, what? First of all, it sounds kind of shitty that he's like making fun of like strippers. But I was like, then not only is he not making fun of strippers, or that he's making fun of strippers, he's like poking fun at his mom. And I was like,
wild. A psychiatrist would love to sit him down for an hour, have a conversation.
Right? I was like, we all had to do psych evaluations to get on this show, by the way. So I'm like,
I'm sure they were very thorough and they only cast really mentally sound people.
Sometimes I'm like, did we not pass? And that's why we got on the show? I don't know. Maybe they're like, these people are too rational. These are the ones you need to cast. No, but I felt so bad. I was like, I know there's some like, we laugh so we don't cry, maybe kind of vibes going on there. Like, having, being a son, growing up with your mom being a stripper and like the money problems and stuff like that. It sounds like they had like a difficult time. Like now she's passed away. I was like, why? If anything, you should have like the utmost respect for strippers.
Yeah. It's a strange way to bring it up to sound like derogatory about it.
Right. I'm like,
to segue into, by the way, my mom was one.
And she's dead.
He's having a hard time, guys.
Clearly, I'm like, I get like, I make a lot of jokes about things that that I'm upset about. I get it. I deflect like that too. But that just seemed, I was like,
it's a very weird segue.
It's just, it was so strange. Yeah.
I was just disappointed that we didn't have a stripper on the show named Zach Attack. Like, I was really stoked that we had a stripper on the show. And then we just have another fucking lawyer. I'm like, really? Why didn't you cast a stripper?
Why wasn't Damien in your season?
I was about to say,
doing the magic mark stuff. I don't.
I know. I was like, we had a magic mark on our show.
It's like we had a stripper on the show and we didn't know, and now you give us a fake stripper. When are we going to get a real stripper who admits that they're a stripper?
And then Barnett thought Diamond was a stripper because she was a dancer and her name is Diamond. And he was like, "Are you a stripper?" And she's like, "No."
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I am a dancer for the Hawks, but okay, thanks. real. I'm genuinely a dancer with my clothes on.
Barnett he got away with a lot. He got away with a lot.
I should have known then. Diamond did tell me then. She was like, "Fuck him. I don't like him." She's like, "You're better than him." And I was like, that is shitty that he did that. But my conversations with him are funny and great. Idiot.
Yeah.
So dumb.
So in that conversation, when Zach reveals that his mom was a stripper, this is with Irina. She's a 25-year-old business owner, which is very vague. I don't think we know what kind of business she owns.
Etsy. It's a Etsy business.
Etsy, yeah, it's probably Etsy mittens or something.
Hey, people do bank on Etsy, so
that's true. She says that she's a bombshell, but she grew up with really bad acne. And she realized that she doesn't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with her for her looks. But I think what stands out to me the most for her is she's a mean girl. She's mean.
Wait, which one is this again? What's
the
her
mean
name?
girl?
Wait,
Irina.
Irina was the one who was like pulling. What was it? Was it Micah that she was pulling aside?
Yeah, she's like best friends with Micah. And
okay, I remember this conversation for sure.
She was talking shit.
I'll play a sound
about Amber. It was about Amber that she was talking.
I'm gonna play a sound bite from later.
Mardi Gras.
Loser.
That's Irina calling Amber a loser for the Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
date.
I was like,
Irina's
savage.
a mean girl.
Okay, Irina.
But not even a very good one. Like her, it's not even like that clever of quips. Really,
her quote. I'm like literally scrolling through the Love Is Blind Instagram to like see who are these, like the names of these people. Her quote is, "I don't think I found the one because I'm bratty and emotional."
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
I mean, I do get her like talking Micah up, privately and calling the other girl a loser. It's just really funny to like do it on TV, like publicly. I get privately being like, that girl sucks, like fuck her, but it's just really funny to do it with cameras. Like, you look so bad.
I think
Max, you act as though you wouldn't be doing that too. You'd be.
I don't think I would do it on TV.
I didn't either, and then I kind of did on After the Altar. I did drunkenly when I was trying to hype up Giannina. She was like really upset, and actually we had a whole conversation that I knew the cameras were not on us, and we were like talking, and then like we felt the cameras whip towards us, and I was like, Giannina goes, "She's nothing." I was like, "She's trash," and talking about Francesca, and that's the only clip they showed, and I was like, they're not going to show that because like they missed the whole conversation we were saying. They literally just showed her being like, "She's nothing," and me being like, "She's trash." And then you see us both immediately walk away. And that's why we saw.
Did that come up with you and Francesca on Perfect Match?
It did, and we talked about it a lot. And she goes, and they didn't show this, but they made us have this conversation too. I mean, I would have anyway, but they didn't show it. Obviously, I wish they would have, because actually it was a good conversation with Francesca. Like, I was like, I am genuinely so sorry. I know, like, there's no excuses. Like, anything that I was drinking, I was trying to hype up a friend, that's like the excuses. But like, there's a million ways I could have hyped up another woman or hyped up my friend without bringing down another person.
Sure.
And I understand that. But she goes, and I was like, I am genuinely sorry for that. And she's like, "No, it's fine. I was acting like trash that night." And I was like, okay. Cool.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. And then it was like, we were just like goofing around from there, really. But like, which is probably why they didn't show it. But like,
that's cool.
Like, that's hilarious. Good. I was like, okay, Francesca, kind of funny.
I think you're gonna have to change your name from LG Lucky Girl to MG Mean Girl. So
yeah. See, the thing is, like, I say things are trash all the time. Like, I call myself trash all the time. Like, my friends, like, we all use that word so much that it's like doesn't really mean that much to me. I feel like
right.
Yeah. So, but it is mean. It is a mean thing. I definitely think that was a mean thing that I did. And there was no reason for me to do that, but I did it. It is what it is.
We forgive you, and we actually appreciate it. And we thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hyping up Giannina is an important thing. And lots of people need to be around her in her life to do that.
Yes.
You know? I'm really glad you guys like let me apologize though. And you accepted my apology because I apologized to Francesca a year ago and that she accepted it. But like it's been a weight on my shoulders until this conversation. Because I was like, I really need Max and Ben. Forgive me.
We do, from time to time, we do give out our blessings to people, our forgiveness.
Yes. Thank you. You guys are so sweet.
Yeah, we get that a lot. That we're sweet. We get that a
lot. Yeah.
All right. We get to the women's quarters, and actually, Irina and Bliss have this conversation, and I want to play it for you guys because it was weird.
You're trying to sabotage my love life? Me? Just kidding. What? Why? You could never.
I will never do anything on purpose to hurt you. I promise you that, okay? So like it's never gonna be anything on purpose.
Oh my god, you would never. I would never think that.
No.
Whoa.
Foreshadowing?
I would never
so ominous.
I would never hurt you.
On purpose.
On purpose. Like never for real. Intentionally. Like I would kill you with my car, but I would
be an accident.
Yeah, an accident.
Did you notice?
I wouldn't cut the brake. Somebody else would, like my best friend, because I told him to.
Did you notice when they cut to the wide angle? She actually had a knife behind her back while she was.
I was wondering. I was like, did
whoa. Wild, scary.
Interesting.
The music was scary.
Was it Irina saying that? Like saying I would never intentionally do anything to hurt you? Who was
probably?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it
one
was.
of the two.
I don't remember.
Irina was the one who said, she said, I will come for your neck, right? Is that what it was that she said?
But then the other girl was like, I would never intentionally do anything.
Yeah.
Who was I with? Irina and who? Sorry.
Bliss.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember who said, I think it was Bliss being like, I would never intentionally do anything. And Irina being like, I'd slit your throat.
Yeah. Scary.
But not intentionally.
Very frightening.
But not really. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember which one was which.
I'm getting tank wrench vibes from season 1 already again.
We're getting tank vibes. It's giving tank.
It's giving scary. Yeah.
Zach and Bliss talk. He tells her she's a 10 on intellect. So, I think women love to be rated from 1 to 10.
Oh, yeah, right.
Personally, I love being rated 1 to 10.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's the opener that you're looking for in those pods. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. I do like that.
By the way, I love that Bliss has the 2 most Seattle professions that you could ever think of. She went from fisherwoman to cybersecurity. Love that, by the way.
Yeah, I was like a fisherwoman.
Mm-hmm.
We love that.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
But also in cybersecurity.
Both are male dominated, okay?
Yeah.
Both industries male dominated. So go Bliss.
I heard she played second base for the Seattle Mariners too, which is really cool.
Yeah, she's the only girl in the league. She loves being a male dominated space. Love that for her.
So they're both like favorite songs are "I Hope You'll Dance" by Leanne Wombat.
Leanne Womack.
Womack. That's it, not Wombat.
Also, I don't think that song is by her.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I think it's
by...
Martina McBride.
How does it go?
I hope
you dance. I
hope you'll dance. You don't know that song, man?
I know every word to it too.
No, but I could listen to this all day. You two singing in duet.
In the distance.
It's played at like so many people's wedding songs. It's like a big wedding song.
Okay, yeah, Leanne Womack. Okay. It is Leanne
Womack. Bigger than Here Comes the Bride, or not as big?
Way bigger than Here Comes.
Way big.
Oh, dude. Really? Okay, gotcha.
Bigger than Here Comes the Bride.
Yeah, way bigger. When I think weddings, I think of that song, not Here Comes the Bride. Like,
it's like such a
first by Bruno Mars. Nothing by Bruno Mars. I think of Leanne Womack. I Hope You Dance.
Yeah. So it was both of their mom's favorite songs to sing to them, and they were like, "This is so crazy! How could that happen?" And I was just like, "Wow, these producers did a really good job interviewing these guys." You know
every word to this extremely popular song. I do too. It's kind of
Isn't
like,
it crazy that we're both on this show? How did this happen?
oh, you live in Seattle?
Yeah, what? You're single?
Wait,
We're both from Seattle. It's crazy.
we both
But
have
you
phones?
want to get married too?
Oh my god!
You want more followers too
Oh
on
my
Instagram?
God.
This is crazy.
It's crazy. The similarities are nuts.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah,
that was,
we always love it on dating shows when people are like so shocked that another person is career oriented or that they're looking for love. It's that they love their families.
You love family?
or like
Oh my god!
certain foods that they both like. I'm like, come on, guys.
You
Like-
like pizza?
I mean, I will say though, when you're in there,
You like McDonald's too?
right? You had a Big Mac? This is wild. Guys, I think I found him. Like, I'm just like, okay. Yes, it's something cool, whatever. We both like the same song. It means a lot to them. But also I'm like, and I know that they've bonded on other things, but from what we've seen, I'm like, come on, guys, that's the base of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But it is fun in there when you find someone who like has similarities to you. I think that's what the appeal was with Barnett. We had very similar senses of humor. So we would like go back and forth with their like joking or wise or whatever. But like, I mean, you see Mark and Jess do it too in our season. They bond over like, I don't know, like sausage or something. Like
Right, yeah.
they're
And the
both
Bears, the Chicago Bears, I think.
Yeah, like sausage in Chicago.
She's
and
not like the other girls, okay? She likes sports, okay? She's different.
Sports and sausages.
Dish, right?
What more could you ask for?
The Sears Tower.
Yeah.
The bean.
God. She's been to the Windy City. Okay.
So LC, like, in the season 1, you guys never played beer pong. Do you think that maybe you and Barnett would have worked out if you guys had played beer pong?
Well, you get the pods? Did they play beer
Yeah,
pong in the
they
pods?
played beer pong this season in the pods. You guys
They
never
did
played.
play beer pong in season 1. It just wasn't in the pods. It was at Amber and Barnett's place.
Yeah, but you never played beer pong in the pods. Do you think
No,
it would
we
have worked out?
didn't play any drinking games in the pods. I played pool a lot. We had a pool table there, and I like grew up with the pool table. Like we've always had one, and we still have one at my house. Like that's very much a thing for like me and my dad. We're like enemies when we're play every time I go home. And
But that was in the women's quarters, right?
But that was in the women's quarter. So like that was one of the only like games. But there were days where, and I usually played pool to like get away from the cameras and like stop talking about my feelings. And I was like, I'm overload. I gotta get out of here. But in the pods, they would have days where we would like exchange. We could like exchange gifts, or we were like painting together, or like there was like workout equipment in there. One of my gifts that I gave, I guess, was I burned a CD because I'm a cool girl. And I burned a CD, but then I was like, oh, we don't have anything. We can't like play it out loud. So they bought us Walkmans and burned a copy for me and for him. Well, I already had the one for him, but like they burned a copy for me too. And then we had the Walkmans in there, and like I listened to it outside the pods, but like that was the only like music we were listening to. Like, but there was like some games, like workout stuff, like painting. There was instruments sometimes in one of the pods. I think there was instruments.
We have seen them doing more like silent disco recently in the last couple seasons.
I was like, this was my idea technically.
Yeah.
I brought up to pods.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they can't listen. You can't listen to music like it's obviously copyrighted unless they buy the rights to it. So
yeah. And they have a bunch of killer tunes that they keep reusing, so they don't need to. They don't need
the
to
Love Is
use
Blind
new music.
Orchestra's got it under control.
They have it
the
locked
albums
down.
are amazing. The soundtracks are great.
Have you seen them live at Red Rocks? They're sick.
No, but I want to so bad.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
So we get Micah. Micah, she decides that she's between Kwame and Paul. Paul, he's the guy that wants to pick her up, make out with her, but Kwame wants to give her security, and he calms her. So
and marry
two guys want to marry. Two guys want to give her different things. It's hard to decide. Two roads.
Yeah.
One Micah.
I know. This made me so mad at Micah.
Yeah.
It really did. So I was like, you really, if she would have if Kwame, I don't never know if I'm saying any of these names. I'm saying Micah or Mika.
Micah and Kwame, I believe, is
Micah and Kwame. Okay. So Kwame, when he said, like, I kind of want to propose to you early, Micah was like, she didn't say no. Like, she was like, there's another connection I have. I want to kind of see it all through, but I also am falling for you. Like, she basically was like, no, but I'm going to keep you on the line just in case because I know Paul has a thing with Amber. So, like, just in case the thing with Paul falls through, I want to have Kwame in the background. It's really the sense that I got. And I was like, come on. Paul is making me feel the same way too. Kwame, like, at least he like put it all out there, but he also has someone on the line, Chelsea. And I'm like, why are we all doing this? We all have someone we want and the other person that we're chasing, someone that we know wants us and someone that we want. And I think it's so fucked up. Like, just go for the person you want. And if you get dumped, you get dumped.
Yeah.
So
They're ensuring their stay on the show.
Literally.
Are you just trying to live through these people? Do you just want people to be like you, Elsie? What
I
is
want everyone to get dumped, okay? It's me. Listen, it wasn't just me on my season. We just didn't even see those other people. Unfortunately for me.
Yeah. Well, given the track record of everyone on the show, chances are they will get dumped at some point or another.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Minus the first season, which is just like still has couples going strong.
Yeah, both people got married or still married.
Yeah.
Same with season 3. And
that's true. Yeah.
Their weddings were in like this June, July 2021. So yeah.
So Brett and Tiffany, she puts heels on because she's feeling sexy, and they also end up wearing his shirt matches her dress. Can you believe it?
God.
Oh my fucking God.
Literally insane. But also, okay, can we just talk about the fact that their clothes were navy? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not teal, not green, not teal, not blue. Like, they should be bonding over. They should not be bonding over that they're both wearing the same color. They should be.
Maybe it's one of those blue. Maybe it's one of those blue dress, gold dress situations.
They mislabeled their.
What
color?
They were like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" She's like, "I'm wearing this like tealish, greenish," and I was like, "That's navy, you know." That's like
he's like a shoe designer. Shouldn't he know what color?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, they should be bonding over the fact that they're both colorblind, not that they both wear the same color.
Mac, you've done a lot of editing, a lot of colorist stuff, right?
Yes.
Could this be that the editors, changed it up a little with the?
No, they're colorblind. Elsie's right. They're colorblind.
Well, I was also going to say, like, it also could be that I was in the sun watching this on my phone. So
no, it did look like
I was
navy.
literally holding my phone like this.
It did look navy blue. It did look navy blue.
No, they're
it was
colorblind.
like navy, maybe like a bright navy, like a royal navy blue, but like it definitely didn't look teal or green. I was like,
yeah. The funniest possibility is that they're colorblind, so we're gonna go with it. Yeah,
which is what they should be bonding over. That's
that they're colorblind. Oh my God, you're colorblind. I'm colorblind.
That's actually wild.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But then,
not great for their future children.
But this is.
Shouldn't you marry somebody who's not colorblind so it's easier to like deal with?
I was gonna say it's not good for their future children if they got together.
Traffic lights and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That's not good.
Yeah,
that's a recipe for danger.
Yeah,
severe danger.
Mm-hmm. But I do think this is a very good sign. If you end up wearing the same color as somebody else, it does mean you're meant to be.
It does, and I will say my parents have been married for like 33 or 34 years, and there is times where they walk out and they get dressed for something and they're wearing the same colors. So, that makes for a healthy marriage, I think.
Yeah. The way I met my wife, I saw she was wearing the same color as me. I immediately got down on one knee. I was like, "What am I doing? I don't even know you."
Yeah, love.
I proposed right away.
Love is not blind. Love might be colorblind.
Yeah, is love colorblind? That's what the show should ask.
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll find out.
So we get to the women's quarters, and Amber's talking to Ava, who is a communication specialist, but I don't think she really does anything too important. And Amber is just talking about how she likes Paul, and Micah can hear it. She's getting a little upset. So then Micah goes and she talks to Paul, and Micah asks Paul, what she thinks about Amber, I believe. And Paul's just like, yeah, she's really amazing. I'm really getting to know her. You know, we're having the most amazing time together. And it's like, Paul, do you think you could tamper it down like a little bit? You
Right.
know,
You
to
have an awesome time.
yeah, you think you could just, you know, be a little bit more delicate with your language?
That ain't Paul's style, baby.
No.
He ain't gonna do that. Come on.
But I like how Micah responds. Micah says, she asks him if he wants to know when he's gonna die.
Like, okay, cool. Well, anyway, do you know when you want to die?
Yeah, because
you know, do you want to know when you're gonna die?
He's like, well, I'm hoping right now. You know?
he's like, I'm gonna kill you if you keep talking about Amber like this.
You want me to tell you when I'm gonna kill you?
Yeah, like 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, I'll come through this wall.
I'm gonna come right through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about being present and finding beauty in every day. It's like he went into a Michael's and took notes on all the signs that you can buy, you know, to hang up in your home.
That was a weird one to watch. I will say any interaction with Paul, I'm like,
Yeah, my hair starts like raising like, off my arms. It's very strange. I got the heebie-jeebies going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I hate to return to this, guys, but I just have to say, someone in the chat says they think they saw teal. Is this a blue dress, gold dress situation all over again?
It might be. And by the way, in that situation, did you guys see white and gold, or did you see black and blue?
I saw blue. I saw black and blue. Yeah.
I don't remember because now I've seen both, but I think I saw blue.
Yeah.
Blue
and black. Were you white and gold?
I saw white and gold, and I couldn't even see otherwise.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I think I saw blue and black.
I saw blue and black. Yeah.
That's not true.
Do you guys hear Laurel or Yanni? Do you guys hear Laurel or Yanni? I think I heard
I was about to say,
I heard Laurel.
I hear both. Yeah. If I think Laurel, I can hear Laurel. If I think Yanni, I could hear Yanni.
Yeah, I think I've heard Yanni before. That shit's crazy. This is the new one. We discovered the new one.
We're gonna go viral, guys. We're gonna go viral.
Literally, I'm like, but I was sitting there like, okay, I was in the sun, so I was like, my screen was little mess, you know, like in the sun, and I literally had a hat on, and I was like going like trying to make no like sun come into this thing, and I was like, that's navy. I like rewound it. I was like, they're both wearing navy. What the heck? Maybe I'm colorblind. I don't know.
So we get to the women's quarters, and Micah's talking to Mean Girl Irina about how she's confused about Kwame and Paul, but Chelsea, the so-called pediatric speech language pathologist or something like that, she's struggling over this because she wants Kwame too, and in fact, he's her only date today, and she says she doesn't trust Micah. In fact, Chelsea says this:
Kwame talks to my heart, my head, and my vagina.
So is he in there being like knocking on the wall, being like, hey, I just want to talk to your vagina right now? He's like, let me talk to your vagina. Can you put your vagina up against the wall?
Okay, put your vagina away. I'm going to talk to your heart right now.
Yeah.
Okay, now put that funny bone up. I want to have a word with your funny bone.
I want to talk to your second toe. Put it up to the wall. Like, okay.
All right, funny bone. What do you got for me?
All right. Pull down your pants and put that pussy up against the wall, girl.
I'm talking directly to the vagina today. Yeah. It was funny. I thought the line was funny. I was like, that's real. That's hilarious. And that's good. You know, you wanted to talk to all three. If it's going to be a match, they have to be able to talk to all three.
Yes, very true. It's very true.
Yeah, no, and he is. We might go into this. He's talking about how much he loves Calvin Klein underwear for women, and they talk about how they want to have spiritual sex and making love. They're getting into it. They're connecting, you know. And she throws it down. She's like, she basically tells him that she wants to get married.
Yeah, but he thinks she's talking about sex.
Yeah, I think he knows.
He's like, no, because she goes,
he knows.
Well, I think we should just go right now. And he was like, oh, yeah, you ready? You ready to do it right now? And he goes, well, like to get married. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah, right.
God, I was like, okay. Also, like, are we trying to get a Calvin Klein sponsorship? What's going on here?
Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, there was like
I'm surprised they showed that clip of him saying Calvin Klein. I feel like that's like.
Yeah, when Roomba came up too, I was like, "We talking about Roombas now too?"
Yeah, I'm like,
maybe that was the next episode. Roomba came up, and I was like, "We're sponsored by Roomba now too? What's happening here?"
But we drink everything out of gold cups because we can't know that we're drinking High Noons or whatever. Yeah.
We know it's Starbucks this season. We know it is. You don't have to hide it.
We know everything instead of gold cups this season is Starbucks cups. Like they drink everything no matter what out of Starbucks cups.
Right.
That would be funny, actually.
Champagne out of Starbucks cups.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, she really throws it down, and because he has someone on the back burner. He's like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good about it too, but not yet. But I really enjoy talking to you today. Thank you, miss. Goodbye."
So awkward.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
I like you, cutie. Bye.
So awkward, cutie.
Bye.
Bye, cutie.
It's always painful when you know for sure who the back burner person is in those conversations. And they kind of know it too, I feel like.
Who the mark is?
And no one thinks they're the back burner, to be fair.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think I was the back burner.
Mm-hmm. And Jessica didn't either when it came to Barnett, right?
No, none of us did.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Barnett and Jess stuff happened. It was wrapped up about halfway through the pod, so it wasn't like he didn't that's why I get why. I get why they showed it because after the pods they instigated a bunch of stuff to do that. But I was in the moment, I was me and Amber both were that was not even a thing. We didn't even think she was talking to him. We didn't even know she was speaking to him. We had no idea. Me and Amber knew about each other, which is why we were we're not gonna do it. We're gonna respect each other and not talk about it in front of each other. Jess didn't talk about it at all. So we were okay. But yeah, it is weird. It's a weird situation in there. You don't really know what's going on with other people, because they're all private conversations in a pod.
Yeah, nobody wants to show their cards too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is where we get that conversation with Kwame and Micah, where he tells her he has a strong connection with someone else, and that the main difference is that she reassures him that she wants to be with him. And that person obviously is Chelsea. And Micah, is so the main difference is just that she reassures you. Well, if that's it, don't, sacrifice what we have going on, for some, because what we have, it could be good down the line. Maybe one day I will start reassuring you, even though I'm not going to promise right now to start doing that.
Right.
She never says even though it's such an easy fix where she could just say okay, why don't I just start reassuring you right now?
Well, I don't think that's where she was going. I feel like she was going for oh, do you just like her because she likes you and she tells you? She makes you feel safe because she likes you.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I'm more of a mystery. That's where I feel like she was going with that.
Yeah, I agree.
It should have gone where you were saying. It should have been okay, well, if that's something that I know you like I should do that. That should have been where it went. But I don't think she was.
No. I think they're on the same page. I just said it wrong. Yeah. I'm saying I agree. That's what she should have done, but she wasn't doing it. Why wouldn't she just say, "Hey,
maybe I should just reassure you.
Maybe I should just start doing it." But she didn't. Why wouldn't she just promise in the future to just start doing it? Instead, she was in the future, maybe this will happen.
Yeah. It was so weird.
There is also the possibility that he really doesn't have problems with the reassurance thing. He's just juggling two women at once. And so he's trying to throw something out there to put it on her instead of putting anything on himself.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
But again, I don't think that. See, I think the difference is this is why I think with Barnett, even watching it, it looked like he genuinely, you saw him crying because he's I don't know who to pick. This is why I like this person. This is why I like that person. I genuinely don't know which I could see both lives. Which live do I pick? You could see him kind of going through that. But then with a lot of people in these other seasons, you see them asking the person they want. They're not getting a confirmation from the person they actually want. But then the person that wants them is giving them this reassurance. And then they're and I get it. I am very much, I do the same thing. if someone really likes me, I will like them more. I will consider it. Like if I already kind of like them, but they're like making it very clear that they like me and like they're being very open about that, I will let myself like, I'd be like, okay, maybe I should go for this person then. Because they're
it's human nature. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but it's also
nice
like,
to be liked.
I don't think these people are doing it on purpose. I don't think they're intentionally like, let me keep this person on the back burner. But I think subconsciously they're like, this is my safe choice that I know likes me. And this is the one that I want. That is a little bit of a wild card, but I think subconsciously they're like, I want to. And also when you're in these situations, you do get a little like brainwashed. Like you're like, these are the last people on the planet. They feel like this is it. Like if I don't find someone here, I'm not finding anybody. It kind of does almost feel like that a little.
You're pod people. Yeah.
We become pod people of the pods.
It is funny. We do joke a lot about like on the later parts of the show where people keep saying, I wish we could just go back to the pods. You know, it's like, take me back to the pods.
Well,
there's like a real like connection there.
There really is. This is why when we all got out of the pods and we all met up for the first time, like a couple days after like the engagement day, we all met up. None of us were okay, but we all met up and we were just like obsessed with each other because like at the time, especially, there's the only people on the planet Earth that had ever been through this and knew what we were doing. And like, I couldn't explain it to my roommates or whatever. Like, they're like, well, it was 10 days. Like, who fucking cares? Like, which it makes sense, but it's different. Like, it really is like different.
It's a bonding experience.
You have nothing else to do, nothing else to talk about, no friends. You don't even know what time it is. Like, you're literally just going and doing this. And I get why it's easy to get wrapped up in, but I don't know. Sometimes it makes me nervous. And I'm like, are y'all doing this because you want to be on the show and you're trying to secure the bag, or are you genuinely torn between two people? And as it seems, as what they've been shown, as what we had been shown, it doesn't seem like people are torn between two people. It seems like they know this person likes them and they like them enough to make that choice, but they really want this person and they have to figure out that person likes them too. And I don't like that. It makes me mad. It makes me nervous. I feel like people are going to get hurt. I don't know.
Are you going to DM any of them and tell them this? Or should we DM any of these clips? Yeah, we'll send them the clip.
Send me that clip and I will send it to all of them.
Yeah. We'll clip it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So all of a sudden, kind of out of this conversation, Kwame just tells her, I want to propose earlier to you. It was very sudden. And she's just like, obviously, this feels really good to hear. Thank you for telling me this.
Thank you.
Why? Why? This is weird. And he's like, I'm smitten with you. You embody what I want to talk to all day. And yeah, this is where she says, I'm holding back because the other person I'm talking to is the slow burn. And, I want to stay on this. I want to stay on the show longer, so, I'm holding on to two people in case you pull out, followers.
You propose now, we'll only be on episode 1 and won't show up again until episode 4. So we got to do this. We can't do this.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then she says, please keep this between you and me, but I'm really falling for you. So like, don't blow up my spot too. Like, don't let
yeah, that's always a good sign when they say, but don't tell anyone else.
Yeah. Don't blow up my spot.
It's between you, me, and the whole world.
I've actually never heard that before on the show. Like, just keep this between me and you. Cause she's like, cause I've seen the other seasons. And sometimes when like the guys tell the other guys, like it like totally blows up in the woman's face, like, so don't tell him.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I do think that it is.
She's playing a smart strategic game.
I was going to say, I do think that there is some level of like, I kind of agree with that. Like, let's just like keep it to ourselves, like the pod life, but like, because also I will say I was very affected by Kelly being very verbal on our season about how great of a connection her and Kenny were having. And I was like, well, I have a good connection with Kenny too. But like, if you're so sure about that and you're so vocal about that, I'm like, I guess I don't have a great connection with him, like, and it kind of made me sway my decision. So like, because I was kind of in between both of them the whole time. So like, I will say like, I kind of agree. I like that. Like, I don't think anyone should really be like, I know we have to, but like, it's hard to hear other people, especially after a certain point. And by a certain point, I mean like a few days, like you're really getting into it with these people, like after just a few days even. And so it's like really hard to hear like someone else having a great connection with someone you also felt like you have a good connection with. You're like, well, shit, is my connection the same? Is mine better or worse. Like it's different. Like it's just, it's weird.
Start second guessing.
So I kind of like that she did that. And also I think it was it kind of inspired Paul, because I think he did hear about that, right? Or something about her and Kwame.
It feels like it's kind of inevitable that that's just going to get out, right? Because everybody.
Right, but then that's when Paul was like, "Well, I might lose my shot with Micah."
Yeah.
So, well, after telling Chelsea I want to be with her,
committed. Yeah.
Then now I've heard this about Micah, and now I'm like, "Well, shit, I don't want to lose Micah, so I'm gonna go for it with Micah."
Real quick, from your perspective, the whole Kenny and Kelly thing.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there.
How fraudulent was their connection? Because you keep saying that they had a real connection, but we know that they never planned on even getting married.
I thought that Kelly was a flight attendant based on how many trips she was taking during the show. Really good.
Well, I will say, I think in the pods, they did have like an emotional connection, because he's very like an emotional guy. She's very much an emotional girl. I'm not. I can be. I just mostly like to goof around. And then we talk about serious stuff when we have to. We'll go back and forth from serious and joking, which is why I ended up gravitating more towards Barnett, because I was more comfortable with that. And that's like ultimately kind of why. But like also too, it was really in my head about getting Kelly, because she was like talking about all this stuff. And I was like, well, our connection's not like that. Like we don't do that. So it got in my head. But then I think that when they got in person, things changed. So I think in the pods, I think their connection was very real.
Oh, okay.
I would say that with everyone from my season, to be honest. Like, and some people, when they got out of the pods, it crashed and burned, and some people it like got even better. So I think it's inevitable. Like it's going to happen probably every season like that. But yeah, it's like you build up this person in your head, like physically now too, what they look like. And like, even if you say you're not going to, you do. And like, it's just not what you thought, and like, maybe this person's not the same exactly that I thought it was going to be, because it is easier to be a little different behind the wall than in front of someone's face. So I don't know. I think that once they got out of the pods, they kind of realized like, maybe we don't do this. But then they also I think they were trying not to pressure themselves and being like, we have to get married at the end of this. I think they were like, if we don't get married, like, but we still want to be together, like, we can still see how this goes. Like, Kenny's a very like rational, like type A kind of person almost. And so I think he was like, okay, this is too quick for me. I don't think it's something you can't really realize, especially with us never having seen the show before. Like you couldn't have realized what the situation was going to be and like how quick like those few weeks really are. So
yeah, there was a lot of ambiguous drama surrounded around Kenny and Kelly at the end, because Kelly seemed to have an understanding with him that they were going to keep dating afterwards, whereas Kenny, it didn't seem like he was on the same page somehow with that.
Yeah,
very, very odd ending for them.
But he said yes at the altar, and she said no. But then
he didn't say anything. They never showed him saying anything.
Oh,
he said no first, and then they showed him doing a little speech or whatever,
and then being upset at the cameras.
Which I think he was upset, and by I think I mean I know that he was upset at the producers and the cameras. He thought they were trying to make him look at the bad guy. I think
that vibe too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he was like, no, like shut it down. Like, I'm not doing this. I think he was like, I don't want to be the bad guy here. Like, don't make me look bad. And I think he thought that's where it was going. Like, but Kelly did say no. I mean, I don't know if he said no also eventually. They just didn't show it. But I know like they never were going to get married. Like that was never going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Jess and Mark also had both talked about, I've heard from Mark's mouth and from Jess's mouth that both of them have said they were going to say no. And then all of a sudden the day of, Mark decided to switch it up. So, and he told me it was because she came down in a dress and not a jumpsuit.
That's such a Mark thing.
Yeah, he just wanted to play the victim. That's him. Yeah.
What a little snake.
That's a whole different story. But
Snaky snake.
Snake Mark.
Yeah. The more you learn about the Jess and Mark stuff, it's harder and harder to not be on Jess's side fully.
Yeah.
Oh, we're team Messica all the way. We love Messica. Okay, team Jess.
We love her.
Yeah, we love her. She's the best.
She seems like she's doing great these days.
Yeah, I'm about to go to her baby shower in a couple weeks. Like,
oh my god, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Congratulations to Messica.
Oh, no,
Team
just do it.
Messica, let's
That
go.
baby's gonna be drinking wine out of a bottle right off the bat.
Love
isn't
it.
she?
I love that. I love that.
Dog,
Easy,
the dog and the baby both drinking wine together.
I mean, what could be better?
Ah.
Okay. Also, I just realized my computer's at 20%.
Oh,
All right, well, we're
I
only
don't
going
have
on
my
for
charger.
like
I
3
don't have my
more
charger on
hours.
here. So I don't need, I can text my friend to go grab it for me. But if this is wrapping up soon, then I don't need to. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Text her?
Yeah, just text her. Just be careful.
Okay.
I don't know.
just in case.
Just in case, Elsie. Just in case. I don't know how quick your computer is gonna die. I don't know what
either.
happens.
I really
you know
don't
what?
Yeah, I don't know. I just need to be
let's
careful.
Lucky girl this. Let's lucky girl this.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Where the fuck are we? Okay. So we go to the women's quarters and Micah goes back and tells Arena and the other women, and they're like, yo, I think that he was just trying to like stake his claim on you, Kwame. You know,
What
like
a thing to say.
because
Yeah.
he's kind of proposing mad early. I wonder what day this is. They're like, it's really early to
They
kind
said it
of
was
propose.
6 days. He said,
Yeah, it's
I,
6
for
days.
so long, I felt, so long, it's 6 days. Like, it's day 6.
Yeah, and as you said, everybody proposes on day 10 on the same day, and they're like, it's really early for him to propose. And Micah brings up, we just talked about how I don't give him enough validation. It feels like he wants me to really prove that I'm giving him validation by accepting his proposal on day 6.
Which
and
he
also,
could've
what am I
asked for.
supposed to do the next 4 days of these dates?
Right? But also, I don't know why he went straight to like proposal and not to like, let's
Boyfriend,
be
girlfriend?
exclusive. Like, let's not talk to anybody else. Like, let's figure out our connection or whatever. Like, how does that sound? And she still would have said no, I think. But like, I don't know why he had to go to like proposal. I was like,
Maybe
okay.
he thinks he gets to go on the vacation early if he
Yeah.
proposes.
True,
Like,
like,
can
we
we
get
leave?
longer time in Mexico or wherever they go.
Malibu now, I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, season 2 and 3 were filmed back to back, and they were filmed in 2021. Like, not everyone had vaccines at that point, in like the middle of
Makes
2021.
sense. Yeah.
So I think that's why they didn't go out of the country.
Mhm.
Who knows? With 4 and 5, that was filmed last year, so we don't know.
So we get to Tiffany. She likes how Brett isn't cocky and cares about his family, even though it isn't perfect. She wants Brett to be her person. Brett, he's feeling so strong about Tiffany. He's scared. But Marshall, he's a 26-year-old marketing manager. He's there to tell Brett not to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid about love. Isn't that right, guys? Tell listeners, don't be afraid about love.
Be afraid. Yeah.
Love is a battlefield, you know.
Yes.
But it's not. Love is many things, but it's definitely not scary at all.
Yeah. We get this sad story about Brett's brother dying. That was sad.
That was terrible.
We can't joke about this. That sucks.
Horrible.
I know.
That was one of the saddest stories I've ever seen on a movie show.
I know. That was a rough one.
Yeah. And then she just fell asleep.
I know.
Oh, God. Okay.
Paul and Amber. Paul says in confessional that she has good social and sexual energy, and I was like, "Oh God, get this guy off my screen."
Yeah. Then he talks about sleeping naked.
Oh my God.
He's like, I give her
Like,
social.
put on
I
the
give her
brakes a
social a
little bit.
7.2 and her sexual an 8.7. I was like, "Ugh."
So horrible.
And yeah, when he said he slept in the nude, I was like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think.
Like, that's cool. People do, but like, we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, can we edit this out?
I'm surprised
Yeah.
he didn't say that he sleeps in his Calvin Klein underwear, considering it seems to be a big
Yes.
promotional thing.
Very true. That's a
On my
great.
Casper mattress.
Now we know if he ever gets a Calvin Klein sponsorship and he says, I love sleeping in my Calvin Kleins, we'll be like,
Yeah.
He's
liar.
lying. Liar.
You sleep
We
naked.
know you're naked.
They talk about how they want to be parents, and Amber wants to walk down the aisle again. It's really beautiful.
Again.
And
Again.
again.
And again.
Yeah.
We get this weird moment where Amber like says she wouldn't want to cheat, but she thinks she could have, and like there's always a reason if you cheat. And then he's like, that's a red flag. And she's like, no, but I wouldn't cheat on you.
I would never do that.
I would never do that to you.
I think that was the point she was trying to make is that if I stayed in that shitty relationship, then if I felt trapped in that relationship, I could see how someone would cheat. But also she's like, well, I would have broken up with him first. I would have done it. I was like,
It's like, you just should have not talked.
You should have just said,
if it takes longer than a couple of seconds to answer, then it's probably not a good answer.
No, the correct answer is cheating is bad. And if you're wanting to be with other people, you shouldn't be with the person you're with. That's the answer.
It's just funny because she's never cheated and she probably wouldn't cheat, but she still just said the completely wrong thing.
I think we all understood what she was trying to say, but it came out so
horribly.
She just had a case of mouth diarrhea. It happens, It was just so bad.
It happens.
Yes. Yeah.
She's like, I feel really anxious. I'm like, I would too. You said probably one of the worst things you could say in a dating scenario, when you're trying to marry someone in 10 days.
If I was on a date with someone and they said that, I'd be like, okay.
Okay.
Not going on the second date. Okay.
I'm like, you're very lucky that your social and sexual energy scores are high because this is a red flag.
Right. Okay. Also, I'm so sorry to have to do this, but I also have to pee really bad.
Okay, no worries.
You guys can continue with the recap. I will be able to hear it. But I might just go grab the charger also while I'm at it.
Okay.
All right, we're just gonna do an ad break real quick while you're gone.
Perfect. That's better. Calvin Klein, we love you.
Yes.
Let's do our Calvin Klein ad break now, Matt.
This LCP break is brought to you by the Reality Alert Patreon. This month and into next month on Patreon, we will be having a bonus episode. So after this week's recaps, we're going to have our bonus episode. It is called Love Center, where we recap the entire week of episodes. We talk about our favorite episodes, our favorite moments of all of the episodes. We give our forecast for the next week. We give out awards, and we recap the social media from all of the new cast members and former cast members. Talk about everything happening in
social media is the best part. It's all the tea. It's a lot of fun.
Everything happening in Love is Blind Land. You definitely want to check it out. It's a great way to support the podcast. It starts at only $5 a month for the base tier of our podcast. That's at patreon.com/reality alert, people. Patreon.com/reality alert. And with that $5 tier, you get access to not just the upcoming episodes, you get access to over 50 podcast episodes, people. That includes our coverage of Love is Blind Season 1, Love is Blind Brazil, The Circle Season 1. We are talking F-Boy Island Season 2. We are talking, what, Ben? The pilot for Newlyweds?
We did a lot of one-off pilots that were fun, too. Oh, yeah.
Marry Me, starring J-Lo and Owen Wilson, the first one we ever did. Yeah. A bunch of shit. When you get into our $10 tier, you get access to our exclusive Discord community. And we are starting to broadcast our Patreon episodes live to the Discord. So you can actually join in and chat with us while we do our exclusive Patreon content there. So there's just tons of great stuff going on, and it's exclusively over on our Patreon. So we hope that you will join us there. It's a great way to support our content so we can keep doing this, and the base level starts at only the price of a large coffee. So we would love for you to join us there. Thank you. Wow, perfect timing. LC is back.
Right.
Patreon.com.
Oh my God, you guys, Lucky Girl really does work.
That's Lucky Girl syndrome right there.
Really does work. We Lucky Girled it, and now there's a
I am this is LG coming at you. And we did it.
Perfect. And he gave us a great excuse to do a Patreon advertisement.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yes.
That, guys.
You're always setting us up. We appreciate it. Yeah.
You're welcome. I use it a podcast, I get it.
So that was the Mardi Gras date. And Amber turns out leaving with flowers. And this is where we get this amazing Irina Micah thing.
Mardi Gras?
Loser.
I mean, kind of a lame.
Doesn't
date
like Mardi
idea.
Gras.
I mean, what month did they film this in? It wasn't even. I was like, oh, it must be Mardi Gras. They just did a Mardi Gras themed.
Let's say it must be like February, March of last year or something.
Okay, well, if it was around Mardi Gras, that's okay. But what if it was like June? Like, what a bunch of losers. Are they right or are they right?
Loser.
Come on, the losers.
Yeah. Also, like, I wish we would have gotten to celebrate some holidays or something.
Yeah.
See, but there wasn't really any, I guess, while we were in the pods.
Yeah, you don't want to look like losers, Elsie. You got to be careful.
We're all losers.
Elsie, have you ever been on a Mardi Gras themed date?
I have not.
Okay, Max. What about you?
No, I'm not a loser, Ben.
Oh,
so
I'm not a loser. Only losers do that. So
I can't wait till the next time that we cover a Mardi Gras, a reality show during Mardi Gras, so we get to play that soundbite at the losers.
You never know.
So men's quarters, we get Paul and Kwame tells Paul that he's set on Micah. And yeah, this is when Paul feels pressured to go one way or the other between Micah or Amber.
Yeah.
Yes, my girlfriend Maria is in the chat. She says, I mean, they do Christmas in July, so why not Mardi Gras whenever?
But does anyone actually do Christmas in July?
My girlfriend's parents do, so that would be.
Oh, really? Do they really? That's
they're
fun.
They're big watchers of the Hallmark Channel, and they do Christmas in July.
So are my wife's parents. Huge Hallmark people.
Yeah, they do Hallmark in every month, and they do Christmas in July. So
there you have it.
There you go. Not losers, okay?
We're cool. I promise. I believe you.
Yeah. So we get Micah and Paul, and Paul lies on the couch and he says, I'm gonna fall in love. And it's like, what?
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. All right.
He said, fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah.
Yeah, and he for some reason once again tells Micah that he feels really good about Amber. I don't know. Is he negging her? Is that what's going on here? Is he doing some of the pickup artist work? He would do the pickup artist.
But I feel like they have their little background people that they know like them. We've already established that. And then they go for the person they want, but they dangle because he's not the only one who did this. So they like say like, well, I have this other great connection here also.
Yeah.
So,
So he's
how bad do you want
fuck,
me?
You're saying he's a bit of a fuck. You're saying,
but it's not the only one that does it. Like a lot of
so they're all fucks. I mean, what are they doing?
Fuck losers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I do think that again, I don't know if they're doing it intentionally. I would hope that they're not, but I do think that there's part of it where it's like, listen, I have other options. Like they're trying to almost be like, you're not the only one. Like I'm not your back burner. I have a back burner. So,
yes.
And it's burning.
I just
they're harsh negotiations is what they are.
Very intense negotiations going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want to do an update. My girlfriend commented, do they, about her parents celebrating Christmas in July. So I just want to say I probably fabricated that.
Wow,
they do not celebrate Christmas in July. I'm a loser.
They might watch the Christmas movies.
I think they watch the Christmas movies in July.
Yeah. But
I don't know if they celebrate Christmas in July.
Yeah. Like we're putting the tree up? Like what's
but
going on?
I feel like if given the opportunity, they would go to a Christmas in July party. They're the kind of festive people who like to celebrate things.
I mean, that's fair.
Do you get Christmas cards from them in the mail in July? That's the question.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Okay.
He doesn't check the mail is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. What we're to understand from that is Maria gets the mail.
Yeah. It's okay. I live myself.
I'm just afraid. I feel like I'm going to say something and then Maria's going to comment and be like, do we get Christmas cards?
We don't.
Do they?
He's fact checking. He's fact checking you in the comments. I love
she
that.
does. I was gonna say something about how the Christmas tree is always up in the corner at their house, like they never take down like their fake Christmas tree. But I wasn't sure if Maria wanted me to reveal that in the podcast or not.
Do they not? Because I consider that every year. I'm like, should I just keep it up?
Yeah, they have a fake Christmas tree, and it's always up in the living room.
I kind of love that. Actually,
that's awesome.
So, do they celebrate Christmas in July if the Christmas tree is always up?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Is it? Do they keep a rotting pumpkin outside on their porch the entire year too?
Well, we don't do Halloween in July. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
They just love holidays that much.
They do love holidays that much.
Every holiday in July.
Yeah.
We don't need July anymore.
Yeah.
So
no,
Paul and Micah basically end up they don't propose, but they choose each other. They do, and Paul says this.
Sorry, Kwame, but I prefer me.
Sorry, Kwame, but I choose me.
See,
over
and that
you.
tells me
I pick me. I'm not picking Micah. I'm actually picking me. This is an act of self-preservation. So,
she's doing. He's pulling the deep D. I don't know why everyone isn't getting behind him. I choose me. Come on.
But he's doing it too soon.
You guys, he's gonna publish a book after this.
Deep D was like, Shake, if I choose you, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get 1 million followers and write a book. Okay, you're right.
And a podcast now for Natalie.
No, that's not true.
No.
I know what you're talking about. Elsie, come on.
There's no podcast in this.
There's no new podcast.
This is the only Love is Blind recap
podcast.
podcast.
Love is Blind. The only one that matters.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm on this one, not that one.
That's true.
Do you think Deep D's still going to come on our podcast, Max? She said she would 4 times.
She does keep dangling it in front of us like we're on the back
She
burner.
dangles us. She dangles.
Yeah.
Maybe. She's a little more important.
She's apparently a fan of ours, and yet we can't get her on the pod.
Y'all are really so funny. Like, I really think that more people should need to watch this, because when I did, I was like giggling the whole time. Like, these guys are hilarious.
Thank you, Elsie. We think you're important too.
Despite being massive losers.
We'll clip the first part of that.
They definitely celebrate Murder Girl, but they're funny.
I do have beads all the time. Yeah.
What are we talking about, guys? I got caught up in somebody telling us that we're funny.
I think we're on to the sleep.
Yeah,
I think we're on to the sleep
Paul
scene.
We're
wait, no, I had one more. I had one more sound clip I have to play, guys. I have a sound bite.
Okay.
I have to play Paul and Micah's reactions to getting engaged or like picking each other, because they sound very exclusive. They sound very excited about it.
I feel like I'm gonna explode. Like, I feel like my whole body's gonna just like catch fire. Like, I feel like a desire, feel like in every cell of my body. Like,
I never want to like push anyone to do something because they're like scared of the outcome. Like, I don't want you to be like, yeah, like, let's do that. But you only said that not because like you wanted to, just because you were scared that it would make me walk away.
when I think of
Which is
love,
exactly
I think
what
of you. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Usually when people get together on this show, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in love. But he's like, I think of you and I'm really, yeah, wow. We're together now.
Love, I think of you.
I'm about to explode.
I'm going to be on more episodes of the show. This is cool.
I hope they didn't have Paul wear the same clothes every day for 5 days straight.
Oh, make sure you change those Calvin Kleins.
Gotta change those Calvin Kleins.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to like pressure to do this. He's like, no, I'm so glad we're going to Mexico. And that means that we're basically guaranteed to make it to episode 13 this year. Oh my God.
But then they're both like, well, I guess we have to go have these conversations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guarantee you one of them's not going to. Or both.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. It's happened before.
Yeah.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
So triggered by that conversation.
Yes. So we do get to the sleeping conversation. He gives her a baby shoe, but it doesn't represent having a baby. I saw the baby shoe and I was like, oh, he wants to have babies with her.
I screamed at the TV. I went, oh my God, he's pregnant.
Like the baby. You don't give a woman a baby shoe and it doesn't represent having a baby.
Or at least be like, this is something, like he can still have that representation of like what it meant, which was like cool. But then he could also be like, and I thought it would be cool to give it to my future child. Maybe with you.
Yeah, but it represents it represents a baby. You don't give a baby shoe, make it not be a baby.
But I think he could have also
I agree.
The other thing, while also being like, and I see a future with you, and maybe our children can wear these shoes. Like,
yes,
it's still weird, but yeah.
It's still weird.
It's like giving your girlfriend a ring as like a present, and I'm like, when she sees the ring box, she's gonna think it's an engagement.
Like, no, it's a promise ring. It's a promise ring. It's a promise ring.
I'm like, what do you do? Like, I had friends in college, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Or like anything in a box that's shaped like
yes.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Even if it's a necklace, don't put anything in a box.
What is she gonna think when you open it like that?
Yeah.
She's gonna start doing the eye fluttering thing, the thing.
She's gonna want to vomit in a happy way and or not a happy way.
Yeah. Don't take that moment from her with your stupid ring present. You monster.
Losers. Every last
Losers.
one of us.
Losers.
What are you, a Mardi Gras celebrant?
Probably celebrate Mardi Gras, you loser.
Celebrate.
I'm gonna start using that actually. You celebrate Mardi Gras?
Fucking loser. I'm gonna book a flight to the next Mardi Gras and just do that to everybody.
I honestly would love to go to Mardi Gras and just be like, look at all these losers.
Oh my god.
Pathetic.
With an entire rack of beads on my neck. Like
yeah.
Loser.
Loser. Loser.
Loser.
Loser. They're like, you're here. Yeah, I came here to call
no,
you a loser.
I'm not actually. I'm here ironically.
Yeah. I'm drinking a Diet Coke.
Yeah, this is a vodka soda, not whatever you're drinking. Out of a giant thing.
Yeah.
We got a really beautiful song here when she told him, I already think I'm in love with you.
Be my love, be my love.
I almost.
Oh my god.
I mean, I did cry, but I almost died.
That should be a wedding song.
Yes.
Not I hope you dance. Fuck
yes.
Just kidding. I'm sure she's nice. And I do love that song.
Yeah. So she falls asleep on him. I mean, which is what I was doing every time they talked the whole episode. So I felt seen. I felt seen by her.
It was Max representation in there.
Yes. I felt so good.
She deserves that baby shoe the way she slept like a baby in that.
She slept like a real baby. She was like, you know what? I secured the bag. He made me baby shoots for our future children. I can just relax.
She really did look out. She was gone. She really deep sleeper.
That's why I'm like, were they disconnected? Like, were their mics disconnected and she just like fell asleep?
Yeah.
Well, because like I'm like, how can you not hear him? That sounds like they must have either turned off his mic right when she fell asleep. They maybe have turned off his mic, and so she wouldn't wake up. I'm like, there had to be something going on.
So is it really muffled? You really can't hear anything between the walls without the mics?
No, like literally,
wow.
there was times where my mic went out, or like they cut us off. Like you have a certain amount of time in the pods. Like each time it gets longer and longer as the days go. But like because you have less people on your list, like there's longer dates. So. And then this is how season 1 worked. I don't know if it's like this in every single season or what, but for us, it was like that. And it was also the first season. They had some technical difficulties, I guess, to work out. And also just it happens. Sometimes mics just go out or systems just get weird or whatever. But there were times where they're like, okay, you have 1 minute left in your date, wrap it up, and then on the God mic, and you're like, okay, but you have no clock in there. You're like, I don't know what 1 minute is. 1 minute could seem like an hour, could seem like 2 seconds, depending on what you're saying. And like, there were times where like the mics would they would cut you off. Like if you're in there for an hour, they'd give you 1 minute heads up and they would just be like, they wouldn't be like, okay, say goodbye. Like you're done now. They would be like, just cut the mics off. And so there was one time where I like yelled and like our mics were going in and out and I like yelled. I was like, can you hear me? And like, they were like, no.
Really?
Then our mics came on. I think they were like, no, we couldn't hear you. But when we were in the room, like the living rooms kind of stuff, there was a time where we all together yelled something. I don't even remember. It was like, hey boys, or something. Let's say it's hey boys. I really don't remember what it was. We were like, hi boys. And they screamed back and we were like, oh my God, so cute. And we did hear them then, but I couldn't hear in the pods, even though like, listen, the executive producer has been on record saying that I feel like I can say this now. We were in a sound stage, so not a house, right. So there was no like ceiling.
We
Like,
figured that. Yeah.
Right. It's not like, but they didn't want. At first, they were like, "Don't tell anybody. Tell them everyone it's a house." And I was like, "Okay."
It's
But
so
then-
not a house.
I mean,
how could it be a
else?
house?
How could they do aerial shots of the pods if it's
right.
a house?
Like they were literally. Like,
It doesn't
swinging-
look like a
It
house.
doesn't even
That's
look like
what
a
I
house.
said.
Yeah.
I was like, "It doesn't look like a house." But okay, guys.
It looks like a very well built
Soundstage.
Soundstage, yeah.
Yeah, they were actually at the same time filming the Avengers 2 and Jurassic Park 1 or 2, I don't remember, at the same time that we were filming
Yeah.
Love is Blind.
Yeah, they do all those Marvel movies in Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing it.
Oh, so the pods were in Atlanta at the time.
That season, yes. All the rest of the seasons, I think they built like permanent pods in LA somewhere.
Cool.
So they like
Yeah,
fly everyone to LA. So like that's how they were able to do it like back to back. Like they didn't make permanent pods in Atlanta. So those don't
Makes
exist.
sense. Mhm.
Yeah. We were the only one.
Interesting.
I believe it.
So,
I believe
guys,
it.
what was worse? Tiffany falling asleep on Brett or Raven doing jumping jacks on Bartiz? And this is before we knew anything about Bartiz. So imagine
Okay. With that
Bartiz-
caveat, it's different, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Before we know anything about Bartiz, to make this
I'd say
fair.
the jumping jacks are worse.
Yeah,
Because you're conscious, you're awake.
Yes.
You could hear it. Like she was awake and actively being like, I don't want to listen to this conversation. Like I'm still awake and I have a lot of energy, but I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Okay, but I
think
guess
that was
she
almost
probably
worse. And
knew
you could
about
hear her,
Bartiz.
like,
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, with the Brett and Tiffany situation, if I were Brett, I would just assume the mics went out. But that's also because we were having a lot of issues like that. So I don't know if they maybe just didn't have any issues. You know, that's the third season they filmed in their permanent pod. So they might have had it all worked out by that point. So I don't know.
It's like what you were saying too, with like the hours of shooting and everything, and it is exhausting. Like you're standing around, you're doing a lot of waiting, but you're also like you're doing a lot in a lot of time, and you're not sleeping that much. You're probably anxious, like you said too, about everything that you said that day, about what's coming the next day. Like Brett should probably in his mind know, like, oh, if she did fall asleep, I get it. Like I get it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't like if that happened to me, I wouldn't be like, I'm done. I feel like that was more like a self-defense thing where I think he thought that she walked out when they were talking about that. But I'm like, it doesn't make sense for her to do that because she was just also saying that she's like feeling these feelings. And then when he was talking about it, like she like wouldn't just walk out. Like that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no way. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
No, it wouldn't make any rational sense at all. So something irrational probably happened, I would think. And that would be either the mic's cutting out or she fell asleep. I wouldn't have assumed anyone fell asleep unless someone told me, but like I would have assumed that the mics just went out. Like I would have. But
I'm sure we saw his initial reaction and then he probably had some time to like sit with it and think about it. You know.
Like I probably would be like, that's kind of funny. I do talk a lot. So that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm glad my voice is soothing to you. Maybe I should get on the Calm app,
Yeah, hey, take a compliment, right? He's got a soothing voice.
I love that. I don't think it's that bad. Like worse things can happen. She could have walked out,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a really bad situation. I feel bad. I'm excited to see how they talk next time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about it later today.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited.
Well, Elsie, it has been so much fun recapping this with you. We are going to miss you the rest of the recaps. We hope that you will join us one day again because you've been one of our favorite guests we've ever had. This has been ridiculously fun.
Seriously.
For real.
It's been awesome. No. We really do not.
Or if we do, we don't mean
we really
it.
do not.
Yeah. We don't mean it.
Well,
we do mean it this time.
Yeah.
They're all losers, Elsie.
Yeah, they're all losers.
They all celebrate.
I've never been to Mardi Gras, okay?
Yeah.
I've only been to New Orleans once, and it was for New Year's.
Elsie, is there anything you want to like promote or talk about before we end things? Do you want to tell anyone about anything?
Well, if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, it's 123 Lauren C. My TikTok is super cringe. I don't really post that much on there, but if you want to follow, it's entertaining. Twitter, if you do, I will randomly tweet things sometimes, but 123 Lauren Marie. And then, I mean, nothing really else going on, I guess. I mean, I do voiceover work. So if anyone needs somebody, let me know.
Are you auditioning for Rick and Morty? Are you going to be the new voice of Rick and Morty?
I would love to. I would do anything. I would be the voice of anything, really, to be honest. That'd be so fun to be on a cartoon. But yeah, not anything crazy. I'm still kind of new. Well, not new to like acting. Like I was saying, I was doing musical theater like most of my life. I'm still like new-ish. I've been like learning about it for like a couple years. And then now I'm like, in the last few months, I've been like more auditioning for things. So
cool.
We'll see.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very fun. Well, we can't wait to have you back again.
Yeah, let me know. I really will. I love talking to y'all. You guys are so funny.
This is so fun. For the rest of everybody, check us out coming back soon, just maybe like 30 minutes to an hour when we recap the second episode, and coming back tomorrow when we recap the other episodes, or whenever we come back in the next couple of days to recap, because there's 5 episodes for some reason, throwing wrench and everything. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Reality Alert Podcast, Twitter at Reality Alert _. Subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/Reality Alert, and YouTube, youtube.com/Reality Alert. Elsie, thank you again, and we'll see everyone real soon. Bye.
Bye.
It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your 2 best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert.